or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome into Memorial Gardens for tonight's Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the visiting Barrie Colts and the host North Bay Battalion. The series is tied 2-2 after the Battalion and Colts split the road games down in Barrie this past Tuesday, Thursday. I am your host, Derek Lindemann, and this pregame show is proudly brought to you by
The pregame show is brought to you by La Huerta Imports, family owned and operated since 1995. Visit lahuertaimports.com for more details.
And I'm pleased to be joined by Courtney Kenny, who will have the color commentary alongside Matt Sukram, who will be on the play-by-play for tonight's game. Well, Courtney, you were down in Barrie for games 3 and 4. Quite the atmosphere there, and the North Bay Battalion having the win Game 4 in overtime to make it a 2-2 series.
Yeah, I think that Game 4 victory is going to be Game 4. I'm starting to lose track of what games we got because I got the Leafs series going on as well in my head. We're still at Game 3. Game 4, I think, is going to be a huge momentum swing in this series because if the Battalion had, played the way they did in the third and first overtime, and then Barrie still found a way to pot one past Dom DiVincentis, I think they're coming here very confident, up 3-1, because the Battalion dominated the third period, they dominated the first overtime period, and then they dominated the 2 minutes of double overtime. So, with that being said, the Battalion coming away with a big victory. Anthony Romani with a nice, very nice goal off a nice feed by Dallin Wakely. Cannot forget that. Kept in as well by Romani at the line to keep the play alive before he threw it in deep for Wakely. So, the Battalion coming in here, I think, with a lot of confidence. And you know what's funny is on the podcast going into this, Ben Sargent said he thinks the series is going to go 6. The first 2 will be split. The second 2 will be split. Battalion will win 2 in a row. Hopefully that's the way it goes. Another interesting note, I know I've talked about this before, but the second team to score in each game has won this series, or won the game.
So strange knowing how important that first goal is into each game, and I think tonight it's going to be a big goal here because we have a sellout on our hands in Memorial Gardens, something I don't remember since the inaugural season of the North Bay Battalion.
It's been a very long time for sure. The line from the movie Titanic has been 84 years is what it feels like. Well, you know what? It hasn't been exactly been 84 years here, but it's certainly been a long time since the place has been this full. Of course, last year's team warranted it, but people are still a little bit hesitant about the whole COVID situation. But this year, fans have been coming out in the playoffs in spades, and it's good to see because these boys deserve it.
Definitely well-deserving. Let's turn our attention now to our Players to Watch, brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
Well, tonight we're looking at
Players to Watch is brought to you.
A pair of defensive defensemen, Brandon Hache for the Barrie Colts and Tanias Mathern for the North Bay Battalion. Hache being acquired at the trade deadline by the Barrie Colts from the Kingston Frontenacs, came over as a solid defenseman, and he's been paired most times with Brant Clark and really doing a great job on the defensive end. And for North Bay, Tanias Mathern, only in his second game this evening, will be back in the lineup. Only got one game in the regular season, but he was a defensive standout for Ryan Uland in that chase for the Eastern Conference title last year. You got to see Tanias Mathern Thursday night. How did he look in his first game back?
Well, firstly, I will start with Hache before I get into Mathern a little bit. But Hache has been playing admirably next to Brant Clark. Brant Clark, we've also seen him a lot with Connor Punnett, but Hache doing his part as well. He's been a thorn in the side of the battalion, snuffing things out defensively. That being said, his playoff run last year ended in the second round against the battalion, although in 5 games. So he'll be playing at least a game more this year. And then when it comes to Tanias Mathern, well, we talked about this a little bit in the media room before the game. The battalion going with 7 defensemen, sitting Ethan Procession, last year's first overall pick, because we'll be talking about the draft, I'm sure, throughout this game, since it wrapped up today. But Mathern himself coming out, and they played 7 defensemen against sitting Procession. They isolated him really well because they didn't want him to get, he hasn't played in a game atmosphere since October or early November, right? He's only played the 1 game. Then he went under the knife for his shoulder. So for Mathern, it's a big deal to get back into these games. He was in the warm-up for Game 3. I saw him during an intermission. I said, T, it's great to see you back out in that jersey. And he said, absolutely. He was ready to go. He wanted to play that night. But as the game went on, the reins kind of came off him, and you saw him out there more and more. And he was playing basically regular shifts in the third and overtime. And he didn't look like he missed a beat. He's much needed sight for this North Bay Battalion team, who, of course, he's a big key of what they did last season.
Exactly, and it's really nice to get an addition like tonight is back into the lineup for Game 5. He was in Game 4, but he's going to be a big part tonight, helping the North Bay Battalion. This series has gone back and forth with the Barrie Colts winning the odd games, the Battalion the even games. Battalion, what do they need to do tonight in order to win back-to-back games? Something neither team has done so far.
Yeah, so if we're going to go on the win one, lose one, well, time's going to run out and Barrie's going to have the extra game since they won the odd game at the start. If the Battalion play remotely close to how they played in that third period and first overtime, they should have no problem here tonight. Anson Thornton stood on his head. He allowed the 2 goals to McDonald and Petrov pretty quick in the third. Then he shut things down, including a grade A chance by Romani in that first overtime period where Romani came in on the breakaway. He stopped him on that. Anson Thornton's been a big player here for the Barrie Colts so far this series. So I think if you keep peppering them with shots like the Battalion did, the Battalion really took control of that Game 4. I think we're going to be in a good spot by the end of this game. Yeah,
Anson Thornton has been outstanding in goal for the Barrie Colts. He will be the starting goaltender again, and really the North Bay Battalion got to look at a way to get some traffic in front and not allow Thornton to see so many clean shots. But playoffs not the only big thing happening this weekend in the OHL. The first 3 rounds of the OHL draft went last night, and going first overall to the Erie Otters was Matthew Schaefer out of Halton Hurricanes. And then just rounding out the top 3, Ryan Rubrick from London went to the Niagara Ice Dogs. Rubrick, one of those players that applied for underage status, exceptional status in the OHL previously. And Brady Martin went 3rd overall to the Sioux Greyhounds out of the Waterloo Wolves. The North Bay Battalion drafted 21st in the first round, and they selected Carter Kostic out of Vaughan, who played with the Vaughan Kings last year, a 5'10" left winger. And then finishing out the night for the Battalion, they didn't have a second-round pick. And in the 3rd round, 52nd overall, they took Zachary Wilson from the Central Ontario Wolves, a 6'4" left shot D, and those two are in attendance to tonight's game. And you'll hear an interview you won't hear an interview, but you can read a report. Chris Dawson had the chance to meet and interview those two players before tonight's game. They're in hand. Battalion really happy with the way they drafted today, and I got to talk to some of their scouting staff in the media room, and they were really happy with the way things unfolded for them today.
Well, that was the thing that Adam Dennis said going into the draft, right, is that they weren't looking for a specific need because they don't really have a specific need. This team is so deep, and even though next year it might be a little bit of a step back, I don't think it's going to be as drastic a step back as many people might think. So the Battalion looking for some pieces that can help enhance them for next season. And I had the brief interaction with Carter Kostic in the hallway here. Very gracious young boy. He basically said, how was your day going? And I said, it's a pretty big day for you today. He was very happy. He had a big smile on his face. And he seemed pretty excited to be here in North Bay. So we're excited to have him as well. And, of course, back to the rubric comment, his brother on hand from Oshawa. A little bit of a height difference there between the two. His brother's a little bit taller. But, it's an exciting day. And again, people focus on the draft, and it is a big deal. Don't get me wrong, it's a big deal. But just because you don't get drafted today doesn't mean it's the end of the road for you tomorrow. We've seen guys like Matthew Santos sign free agent deals with these teams later on, go on, have a good career. He's playing pro hockey. He's also got his schooling under him as well. So it is a big deal to get drafted, to hear your name called, but it's not the end of the road if you don't hear it called. And the Battalion have had a lot of great success on recent drafts. I mean, Ethan Procession until Tanias Mathurin came back, has been playing meaningful minutes in this playoff series. Jacob Terrian has scored a few goals this season. Braden Shirley got into a few games from last year. I mean, Mike McIver, what a season he had with the U18 Trappers this year, and likely will be in Battalion Green or somewhere in the OHL next season.
Who knows where he'll be.
So hopefully we get to see him in Battalion Green a little bit. But he's, just talking about drafts past, and I mean, Anthony Romani, 2021 third-round pick, scoring the overtime winner.
Exactly. Anthony Romani getting that winner and getting the Battalion back on level ground. A couple of North Bay products getting recognized, getting drafted this year. Briar Long, whose dad and brother are draft picks at the North Bay, or brother, Caden Long, who played with the Powassan Voodoos, drafted this year by the Brantford Bulldogs, and Andre Mondu. Yeah, and Andre Mondu, who is from Sturgeon Falls, this year played with the Toronto Titans, getting drafted by the Kingston Frontenacs. So a couple players with North Bay ties getting recognized in the OHL draft. And coming up on Wednesday will be the U18 part of the draft. 3 rounds will happen Wednesday night, and there's a lot of interest in a couple of those U18 trappers that we had the privilege of calling this year on the front line.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if a certain Caleb Dawson didn't get drafted, or maybe Nate Gravel might go. I know they're not expecting to play in the OHL themselves, but still to be taken by a team to have that chance. It's still an exciting time for these kids, right? And I would imagine Caleb Dawson, who was a goal-a-game player in the Great North U18 League, I think he'll see his name called. And, of course, there's a couple of other players that we saw on that team. And what a stacked U18 team that was. So it was a pleasure to call some of their games this year.
Definitely a stacked team. Winning the Great North U18 U18 League this year, defeating the Sioux Greyhounds, who were the top team going into the Tournament of Champions before not having the best weekend at the OHFs. But all in all, a great season for the U18 Trappers. Back to tonight's game. No changes for the North Bay Battalion. They're going to dress the same lineup that they did in Game 4. 11 forwards, 7D. How do you think that works in the favor of Ryan Houlihan?
Well, of course, because he can just keep, he can help isolate Tanias Mathurin for the long run, right? And we saw him, like I said, his reins came off in that third period, in the overtime period, and he had himself a heck of a game. Also having somebody as Braden Hislop as the extra defenseman, even though he's not the extra defenseman, that allows you to get different looks, especially now that you have last change at home. Oh, Brant Clark's out there, you send out the defenseman you like to have out there.
Definitely one of the things available on home ice is that last change. 11 forwards, though, is really interesting. That gives you basically an extra 2 or 3 minutes ice time where you can get one of your top-end players out there to get a little bit extra time and maybe hopefully a goal.
Yeah, we saw that again, game 4, the same lineup. Matvey Petrov was out there on the second line, or on that second shift a couple of times. Josh Bloom as well. So we'll see who he decides to throw out there. Kyle McDonald went for a few extra shifts. So they're going to be getting a lot of extra reps. And, you know, when you have a guy like McDonald, Bloom, or Petrov out there, it's only going to help your cause.
Definitely, and we're hoping to see that tonight in front of this sellout crowd. The Barrie Colts making one minor substitution. Bo Gelsmel back in the lineup for the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, nobody seemed to know why he was out of the game, at least telling us before the game in Barrie in the media room. Nobody seemed to know why he was out. Obviously, something had been aggravated from the previous game. He's a great addition to this Barrie Colts team if they're looking for extra offense. He makes that lineup a little bit longer and tougher to deal with. But also, Evan Bierling, he's been out since game 2 of this series, and he's a big motor up top too as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was the one that received that hit from Paul Christopoulos, leaving the game after that and missed games 3 and 4. Not sure when he'll be back in the lineup. Let's turn our attention to probably the most important position in the games, as 3 of the 4 have gone to overtime. Goaltending. Anson Thornton versus Dom DiVincentis. It's been a matchup of ages here in this series.
Yeah, and I mean, if one of these two teams make it to the next round, I know they suffered a humiliating loss today, Peterborough. But, you know, whoever goes to the next round, if you have Michael Simpson up against any one of these guys, that's another great goaltending matchup as well. Some people might look at last game's stat line and say, well, Dom didn't have a great game. Well, first off, the first goal came off Pasquale Zito's helmet. The second goal, yeah, maybe. And then the third goal, he was just a victim of a great passing play and being left out to dry by the battalion. Anson Thornton's had himself a heck of a season, or series outside of maybe game 2, in which he allowed 5 goals. He played really well, and you could see his frustrations after the overtime loss in game 4, but he played fantastic in that one as well. And Dom DiVincentis has played great every single game we play, even when he's off. I mean, there was one game, I think, against Mississauga where he allowed 4 goals. He still made 40 saves.
Definitely, and it's going to be a great matchup here tonight as Game 5 just moments away from Memorial Gardens. Well, Courtney, how great is it to have a packed house here for these troops?
Well, it might get the players really excited, but even gets us broadcasters our blood pumping a little bit, because we can hear it in our headset, you know, when the crowd starts cheering and everything as the battalion are out on the ice right now. And it's just an exciting event to be a part of. A little annoying to get out of the parking lot after the game, something we're not used to anymore, but still a very exciting thing to watch here in North Bay, as, you know, they're the ticket in town again, and that's wonderful to see.
Definitely wonderful to see. While the players are on the ice, the Gardens is packed. We're ready up here in the booth, and the next voice you'll hear will be Matt Sukram with the call of Game 5 as it's Colts Battalion here on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Well, thanks to a goal by Anthony Romani in double overtime on Thursday night, the North Bay Battalion aren't in a win or go home situation. They're now in a position to take their first lead of this playoff series. Good evening, everyone. I'm Matthew Sucrum alongside Courtney Kenny as we bring you Game 5 of this OHL Eastern Conference semifinal between the North Bay Battalion and the Barrie Colts. It was the Battalion winning 4-3 in overtime, double overtime, to beat the Barrie Colts on Thursday, and it was a come-from-behind win as well. They trailed in that game 3-1 in the third period before Kyle McDonald and Matvei Petrov with his first of this postseason tying the game before leading to Anthony Romani's heroics. And now the Battalion are looking to continue that here into Game 5. Have they been able to shift the momentum completely to their favor, or do the Barrie Colts come here and make sure and do what they can to make themselves have a 3-2 lead and a possible clinching scenario when they go back home on Monday night? The next 60 minutes or plus will decide that answer. We are underway for Game 5. As the puck is inside the Barrie zone, it gets cleared out. Shot right back in as Van Steensel's chasing it. Going into the corner, held up against the M boards, and now sent around to the far side. Picked up there by the Colts, but they can't clear as Christopoulos keeps it in. Chipping it along the right side boards, it's Arnsby, who had a goal in Game 4. He sends it back to Christopoulos, who fans on that shot. He was winding up, looking for a big slapper. It got poked past him and out of the zone. North Bay recover the puck in the middle and send it right back in. Finding control, though, in their own zone is Kolach. He lost it on the near side boards, but helping him out is Cardwell, and he dumps it down the ice. Ty Nelson with his first touch of the game for the troops. He sends it forward, looking for Zito, who had a couple of assists in Game 4. Zito trying to kick it forward. He's being held on the boards on the far side. Now it's sent back the other way. Chasing it down the ice is Lukin for North Bay. He gets a hold of it. Now he shoves it along the boards. Looks like Jelsma getting in the way of that one. It's sent in towards the net. DiVincentis has to follow that one up in the air. Comes back down and he makes the save. 18:43 to go in the first period. It is scoreless. And DiVincentis having the only save so far in the early going.
Well, Matt, if any of the early indications here are what the Battalion are looking for, if they play the way that they did in that third period, that overtime period, and again, the second overtime period, they might be in good hands. I was talking to Derek Lindemann about that in the pregame show, about how well the Battalion looked in that back half of the game. So here's hoping that the troops are able to continue that momentum moving forward here.
Sent into the North Bay zone. It's behind the net. Hislop around to the far side boards. Now back in along the end boards. Picked up by Brostowski, and it's sent out of the zone. Controlled by Jackson. Jackson sends it down the ice right towards the goaltender Thornton. He sends it back around to the far side, and the Colts will skate it out of the zone. Carried by Bowden. Comes over the line, drops it back to Clark. Brent Clark makes a move, cuts to the left side, goes to the far side. The shot just goes wide of the net. Not sure who had the last touch there for the Barrie Colts, but they just missed, giving the Colts an early 1-0 lead. Sent down the ice, and this will be icing against the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah, it looked like Declan McDonald on the last touch on that one, Matt. So it'll be, that's going to be one of the things, trying to silence Brant Clark. And so far in this series, Brant Clark only has 4 points in 4 games. And well, for a defenseman, that's really good, considering he put up 17 points in the first round. 4 points in 4 games is a little bit silent for the LA Kings draft pick.
But that was the case in the regular season as well, right? Here comes a shot. Punnett sends it in, and it's DiVincentis who kicks it away to the far side. Back at the line as it's turned over. Here comes Jodwin. And he lost control of it. Now it's back around to the far side. Picked up on the Far side there by Jackson. He lost it. Back in the middle. Jodwin coming back in. He gets knocked off the puck. Has the Battalion get it up to the blue line, and it does not clear. Kavanaugh kept it in. Another chance towards the net, and that one is just wide. Back in behind the net. They're trying to center it now. The Colts still in control here along the far side. Now back to the point. Across to the near side, Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh gets the shot. That's stopped by Bloom, but then it kicks off of Bloom's stick and right to the stick of Lowe, and it's now sent into the corner. Couple of Barrie Colts battling for the puck there. They move it down the half board, still on the near side. North Bay get the puck. They send it to the far side. Punnet's there. He takes a shot. Glove save made by DiVincentis.
Not a very good shift for the Battalion in that second line of Bloom, Jackson, and Ertel. Not looking so good on that one defensively, but DiVincentis keeping things calm, cool, and collected as well. And the other thing that's is important to note here, Matt, is that the team in the Mississauga series, whoever scored first won the game. So far in this series, whichever team scores second has won the game.
No, because in Game 4, didn't the Colts have a 2-0 lead?
Yeah, the Battalion scored. They were the second team to score.
Got it, okay. You don't mean the second goal of the game?
No.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Interesting stat for sure. There's a shot coming in. Save made. Sent away. Kept in the zone. Another shot coming in. And DiVincentis stops that one as well. Captain Arnsby picks it up. Finds Van Steensel, who feathers it out to the neutral zone. Very quickly corralled by the Barrie Colts as Clark sends it in. Takes a hit from Van Steensel on the dump-in. Played behind the net by Christopoulos. Sent to the middle to Arnsby. He gets it to the neutral zone to Tarasevich. Tarasevich over the blue line. Coming down the middle, but then he's pushed to the outside. Almost had a chance. Almost beat the last line of defender there, but just could not hold on to the puck as he made his move to get in front of the net. Puck sent out of the zone all the way down the ice. Wakely plays it up ahead, trying to get it out, and he does. Now in the neutral zone, it is controlled by the Colts right at center ice. Trying to move it forward, Jelsma. He gets the puck knocked away from him, and it's back behind the Barrie Colts line. Akey to the far side, now down the right wing for Jelsma. Over the North Bay blue line. He sends it wide of the net. Picked up and sent around to the near side boards. Jelsma has it again. Walking along the end boards, he sends it to the far side. Now there's a centering pass right in front of the net, and it just trickles wide as DiVincentis kicks the net off its moorings on that attempted save. There was no one in the area. It just took a weird deflection and started rolling towards the open side of the net.
Well, the Battalion defensively, as now we get the scorekeepers in the box hit the buzzer here. We'll have to see what that's all about. But the Battalion here, just over 4 minutes gone, need to figure out their defensive game here quickly and try to spring someone offensively, because hasn't been a good start. 5 shots on goal already for the Barrie Colts so far in this game, and the Battalion again looking a little suspect so far, not getting much touches of the puck.
Yeah, this isn't where you're going to want to spend most of this game if you're the North Bay Battalion. Van Steensel off the draw, tries to block a shot to get it out. It's kept in the zone. Now Bowden behind the net. Bodwin skates to the near side, looking for a centering pass. He gets it to the line to Punnett, but it's off of Punnett's stick, controlled by McDonald. McDonald stretch pass down the ice for Van Steensel, but it's just out of his reach as he went over the blue line. That allows Thornton to clear the puck around in the near side corner for the Colts, and they will get it out to the blue line. The Colts moving it down the ice. It's dumped in. Nelson will take control of it behind his own net in the North Bay zone. Gets it up to Van Steensel, who sends it up ahead to McDonald. Coming down the left wing side, McDonald puts it over the blue line, but they're going to call offside against North Bay. 15:03 to go. North Bay looking for their first shot of the game. It's 5-0 in that category for the Colts, and we are scoreless.
Yeah, just under 5 minutes gone here between these two teams. And the Battalion, they at one point in the series, Barrie had scored 4 straight goals, but now the Battalion have done that to Barrie, in which they scored 3 straight coming into this one. So it's a bit of a game of momentums, and Jackson walking in right now.
Sends it on net, save made, rebound chance, and he gets stopped. Bloom was right there in the slot, had some time, sent it right into the midsection though of Anson Thornton, and he holds on to it. Those are his first 2 saves, and they were both big ones.
Yeah, good shot by Jackson. Is kicked aside by Thornton. I believe it was actually Ertel on the rebound who had it, as he was the player that ended up being upended in front of the net. But either way, good chances look for the Battalion, and maybe showing their first signs of life here in this game.
Can't win the ensuing draw as the Colts send it around to the far side boards, but now at the line is kept in by Avery Winslow. He sends it down the right side to Hertel. He's kicking it behind the net to Jackson, who will skate out front with it. He sends it to the point to Nelson. Takes a shot, deflected, save made by Thornton. North Bay keep the puck in as it bounced to the blue line. Pass across the blue line is behind Nelson, and that allows the Colts to get it out of the zone, and they will dump it all the way into the North Bay end. There's a hard collision going into the far side corner. That allows North Bay to pick up the puck. It's Winslow sending it down the right side for Hertel. Hertel over the blue line. Delay call coming, but here comes Winslow with the puck, and the save is made on the shot by Winslow. Into the far side corner. Winslow gets it back. Hertel, who sends it back behind the net to Winslow. Winslow along the end board, sets it out in front. It goes to the line. It's held there by Petrov, who's the extra attacker out there, as Steven Chentis has left the net. He goes back behind the blue line, comes back in, finds Nelson. Nelson takes a shot. It's deflected wide and finally touched by the Barrie Colts, and they will be sent to the sin bin for the first time tonight.
For the Battalion, the Battalion have a 7th-ranked power play here in this playoff, 22.2%, and the Colts have a 76.3 penalty kill, 11th in the league. Another thing on that with the Winslow shot, Nelson was kind of watching the play to see if Bloom being knocked down was going to get a call. The puck came out to him with a wide open net, and he didn't see it. You know, it's kind of unfortunate luck there for the Battalion, or else Ty Nelson would have another goal here in the series.
As we've been saying, it's a game of inches, and that's something that proves it right there. If Nelson was looking the other way, he would have had a wide open chance, as you said. The Barrie Colts, as you said, their penalty kill is not been great in the postseason so far. They've given up 9 goals on that penalty kill. The Barrie Colts in this series have allowed 12 goals overall. So we're seeing that the Barrie Colts really would like to tighten things up on that penalty kill. Jackson over the blue line, dumps it in. It's sent around to the far side. Comes up to the blue line and cleared by the Colts. Carrying it out is Jelsma. Gets over the blue line, drops it back to McDonald. He gets a shot on net, and the save is made by DiVincentis. And now North Bay get the puck. They go the other way. Jackson drops it back to Zito. Wide open in the middle. The shot save made by Thornton, throwing up the glove and keeping that puck out. Jackson in the neutral zone. Gets it back up to Zito. He dumps it into the far side corner. The Colts are there, and they will slap it right back down the other way. 1 minute remaining in the North Bay power play with 12:50 to go in the first period. Still no score. It's Bloom bringing it through the neutral zone. Gets over the blue line. Pushed off the puck. Controlled by the Colts, and they will clear it once again. DiVincentis holding it behind the net, waiting for Winslow. And now Winslow will skate forward. Winslow with one of the better scoring chances so far of the night for the troops. He gets it to Wakely. Wakely in front to Hertel. Can't get the shot. Now it's outside to Bloom. And Bloom's shot goes way wide of the net, and it ricochets off the boards and sent down the ice. Winslow plays it back forward for North Bay. In the neutral zone, it's Hertel. He takes a shot from the right wing side and dumps it down. It goes around the boards to the near side. Played back behind the net. Now the North Bay Battalion turn it over. Wakely in front of the net. He gets stoned by Thornton. Now it's Romani with the opportunity. He takes a shot that's blocked by the Colts and sent down the ice. And that will end the North Bay power play. They did not register. Okay, they registered one shot on net, but so too did the Colts in that sequence. And it's still scoreless with 11:30 to play now. Tarasevich brings it back down the left wing side, trying to play it behind the net. It's whipped around the boards to the far side. Hislop is there. He's the 7th defenseman on the ice tonight for the North Bay Battalion, but he can't play the puck forward, and now it's the Colts going the other way. Matthews coming in, takes a shot, save made, and now DiVincentis is run into by the Colts. The puck is in the net, and they're calling it a goal. And that's going to bring everybody to find a dancing partner. Fists are flying in behind the net. Lukin has got somebody at arm's length on the far side there. That's Cole Bowden, the first-year player, rookie for the Barrie Colts. Liam Arnsby's being led to the box because he jumped all over Matthews, I believe, at the end of that play, or it might have been Bowden that he jumped on top of, and somehow this is a goal. I don't get how, unless the puck was behind the net before the Barrie Colts player rushed DiVincentis, but
I don't think so. As the Colts are getting a guy sent to do, that's Ty York in the box. I don't think that can be a goal. I mean, then again, the NHL doesn't know what goaltender interference is, so all the other leagues teams seem to not. But that would be my guess, if anything, is DiVincentis kind of throws the puck down the ice. Clark promptly puts it over at the center ice line to kind of say, no, this is going to be a goal. I really don't think it is, and if it is, well, the referees have a sellout crowd in front of them that might not agree with them too much.
I don't understand how the official can watch that play happen.
And then still, he took like 5 seconds too to decide. And he's like, yeah. That's like me when I umpired, when I was like, he's safe. I mean, no, that's what I'm looking for.
So the play is being reviewed. I mean, at the very least, it has to be reviewed. But we still haven't seen a replay on it here.
Oh, we get some oysters. That's great. I mean,
okay.
I was hungry, but not that hungry. Last thing I'm thinking about is Churchill. Sorry.
All right.
I'm looking for a replay here.
Could we maybe, if we could maybe get Derek? Derek's on the line. Okay, if we can bring up Derek and maybe he can give us some insight here. Derek is in between the benches. What are you hearing down there, Derek?
It's really not really getting anything from the linesman in front of me. What I'm hearing, though, is that they're looking to see if that puck made any contact and was pushed in with a body part other than a stick, because the goalie interference occurred after the puck was in the net, so they're looking at the contact with the player of the puck, Matt.
So that's what Courtney and I were trying to figure out was DiVincentis pushed after the puck went in the net? So Derek, downstairs, you're saying that that's what the officials have, at least out of that whole play, that's what they have concluded, that the puck was in after DiVincentis was interfered with.
No, the puck was in before he was interfered with. So what they're looking at is right. So they're looking at the contact, and here's going to be the call, Matt. Take a look. So it's going to be ruled a goal on the ice, as they're going to take another look here, and I'm going to try and sneak in and see if I can get a listen, as they're going to have to explain this to Ryan Houlihan, okay?
All right, so you let us know. There's 11:19 to go in period number 1, and for the time being, it is a 1-0 lead for the Barrie Colts, scoring basically moments after they killed off the 5-on-4. And you talk about basically killing all the momentum you had if you're the Battalion after a double overtime win. That is textbook how you do it if you're the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, so this is the second goal in as many games where the Colts have got a very fortunate bounce. Okay, so they're going to challenge now, which evidently isn't going to work for them here, but the fans are cheering.
And so, Derek, we know that...
I don't know if he's still on the line.
Okay, so what we know is after the play, the Battalion and the Colts have been penalized either way. Arnsby is in the box, and so too is Ty York. I guess they're both going to get roughing calls, but if the Battalion lose this challenge, they will be shorthanded.
Yeah, they're going upstairs. The one thing that the coaches are allowed to challenge is the goaltender interference, and that's now what they're taking a closer look at, is the interference of the player. But either way, we're going to be 4-on-4 when play does resume, Matt.
And that's the thing. I think that's only in the NHL, because I've seen teams here challenge the offside, don't get it, and then not get penalized.
Oh, yeah,
but
okay.
And I think that's only for offside. I don't think it's for goaltender interference. But
well, that'll be interesting. All right, we'll wait and see. But like Derek told us earlier, what the officials were saying was that the puck was in before the interference happened. but is there anything in that rule that says they never allow DiVincentis a chance to make the save? Is that something that could be a factor here, Derek?
Definitely, that could be a big factor, is if DiVincentis did not have the opportunity to make the save. He makes the initial save, the puck bounces up, and it's knocked in by a Barrie player. I can't see from this angle whether or not it was with a stick, a glove, or a body part, but then as a result, he overruns DiVincentis. So did Dom have any opportunity to make a move to his right to get in the way of the puck? That's a very tough decision to make, and they're going to have to take a long look to see if many different angles are going to show if he was able to get across or not to have an opportunity for that save.
Well, the angle that we can see here from the battalion intern in front of us, Dawson, it looks like the puck's in before he's hit by the player. Whether or not it hit a stick or a body part is another question, though. So, either way, like we said, it'll be 4-on-4 with 11:19 left here in this first period. Colts currently are up 1-0. We'll see if that changes moving forward, but Derek, either way, not a good start for the battalion if you allow the opening goal. But as we talked in the pregame, it's not the end of the world, it seems like.
No, we've heard this many a time, especially that last game where the Barrie Colts scored early. Ryan Houlihan mentioned that they still had almost a full game to play. Now, if this goal does stand, you still have just over 51 minutes to get that back and get the momentum, but not the start you were looking for. The fans hasn't been as loud as what I probably would have hoped to expect for. Sure, they were loud during the O Canada and the start of the game, but they've kind of been sitting on their hands here for the first almost 9 minutes so far of this contest.
Yeah, the battalion haven't had a chance really to be able to kind of give them a chance to cheer. Other than that power play opportunity in which they had a few good chances, but really this crowd's been taken out of it so far, Derek.
Yeah, you can hear that. They did get that one opportunity, and I'm just going to break away because they're coming back with the decision now as it looks like they're getting their helmets back on. So we're just moments away from getting a definitive answer to this goal call here.
And it's
still going to stand as a good call.
I've made my opinions of the refereeing be well known in this series, so I don't have much else to say. Thanks, Derek. We'll hear from you momentarily, I'm sure, on the mid-period break.
So with 11:19 to go, the Barrie Colts score first here in Game 5. And the officials are giving head coach Ryan Houlihan the rundown of why that goal is being allowed. He talked about first goals. So the battalion in the regular season, 36-0-1 when they scored the first goal of game, 12-17-2 when the opposing team scored first. So was it beneficial for the battalion to score first? Yes. Was it at the end of the world? Well, they only lost 5 more games in regulation than they ended up winning when they allowed the opposing team to score first. So not terrible numbers in that category, but we're just looking for that momentum now to shift back, to swing back if you're the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, right, is, again, whichever team scores second in the series has won every game so far. So hopefully the battalion are able to turn that moving forward, as that does look like a penalty.
Kyle McDonald was bringing the puck into the Barrie zone, and as he went to make his move around one of the defenders, not only did that defender get his arm up, but he took McDonald's helmet clean off. And so that's Haché that's in the box, one of the Mike the Financial Advisor players to watch tonight.
And a good defensive defenseman for this Colts team as well, who, as I mentioned in the pregame show, had his playoff run ended by the battalion last year when he was a member of the Kingston Frontenacs in the second round.
So with 11:10 remaining in the first period, North Bay now have a 4-on-3 power play for 1:50, and they win the draw. It's Petrov with the puck, sends it to the right side circle to Jackson, who sends it back to Petrov, back to Jackson. Now Petrov, Jackson in the slot, back to the right side circle. Petrov sends it across to the left side to Nelson. Nelson skates it back to the line, now sends it to Petrov. Petrov back up high in the zone, now walking in to the right side. Jackson walking in, takes a shot. It's off the pads of Thornton and over the glass and out of play. The Battalion power play coming into this game 7th in the OHL among the postseason teams.
Yeah, and you know what? They've been a lot more dangerous as of late. Kyle McDonald scoring that second goal of the game in Game 4 on the power play, and the Matvei Petrov shortly after, and both those goal scorers out on the ice right now for the Battalion.
Face off to the right side. Jackson wins it, got it to McDonald, but then he overskates it, and it's sent down the ice. Another minute 15 remaining on 4-on-3, and then North Bay will have about a 10-second 5-on-4. Jackson in the neutral zone, got the pass to McDonald, then he tried to drop it right back to Jackson, who overskated the puck, so Petrov has to go all the way back to get it. He does recover the puck, sends it up to Jackson. He comes over the blue line. Now they've got control in the offensive zone. Over to Nelson, who snaps in half on that shot. He'll skate to the bench to get another one. It's 3-on-3 in the attacking zone right now for North Bay. Petrov has the puck, finds McDonald. McDonald, shot, save made, rebound is cleared to the blue line. Nelson keeps it in the zone, sends it to McDonald. McDonald fakes the shot, sends it to Jackson in the circle. Jackson to Nelson, one-timer, that gets stopped. Jackson gets it back, sends it across to Petrov. He's holding it on the board, sends it behind the net to McDonald. McDonald to the middle, Nelson to McDonald, fans on the one-timer. McDonald gets it back to the line, but it's past Nelson and all the way down the ice. DiVincentis all the way up to the blue line to play it. Gets it to Petrov. He finds Jackson down the left wing. In the middle to Nelson, and he fires it wide. Nelson picks up his own rebound on the far side boards. Nelson to the right side circle to Jackson. Jackson to Nelson, one-timer, that gets stopped. Out of the boxes, York and Arnsby. It's 5-on-4 for 5 seconds. They get the pass up to Petrov, over the blue line. Petrov to the middle, sends it to the left side to McDonald. McDonald sends it behind the net to Arnsby as we're back to 5-on-5. Arnsby sends it back along the end boards. It's now up high to Winslow. To the right side, that's Christopoulos, sends it in. Kick save made by Thornton. The puck is on the far side boards. The Colts will get it, and the Colts will hold on to it to get some fresh legs out there after killing off that 4-on-3 and then subsequent 5-on-4. 8:40 to play as the Colts still hold it behind the net. 1-0, Barrie leads here in Game 5. And the Colts bring it up to the blue line. They get stopped right there. Now it goes off a couple of skates and a couple of sticks, and it's back in behind the Barrie blue line. And Barrie will send it down the ice. DiVincentis has it behind his own net. Sends it around to the near side to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh sends it down the boards, lost it, and now it's out to Zito. 1-on-1 down the ice. Punt it, trips up Zito. And Zito's going to get called, or Zito's going to draw a penalty for the North Bay Battalion. And now there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on behind the net after the play. 8:07 to go. The buzzer goes. That should send the guys back to their benches to get the ice crew out here to clean up the ice. And they are. So we will take a quick break and be right back.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we welcome you back to the Frontline Game Day broadcast. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Matt Sucrum and Derek Lindemann, who's between the benches. Derek, what's the temperature like down at ice level after that goal went in?
Well, that really turned up the oven down here at ice level. The temperature's rising. The Battalion not happy with the call and the way things went on that power play. And you know what? I think this might be a good moment for them as it turned the switch, and I think you're going to see much more pressure now, especially coming on this next power play. I got to say, though, I did overhear the referee talking to Marty Williamson on the Barrie Colts bench, and he said that there definitely was interference on the goal, but it came after the puck crossed the line. So that was the decision on the ice, is that the interference occurred after the puck, Matt.
Thanks for that, Derek. Wow, I mean, what a call to have to make in a game as big as this. And now the North Bay Battalion will have a 5-on-4 after Punnett gets called for tripping. Cardwell and Van Steensel are in the box for their extracurriculars after the whistle. So the Battalion on their third power play of the game already.
And you know, at some point you got to convert on one of these because they're going to run out eventually. The refs basically put away their whistles in that third period and overtime in the back half of that third anyway. So the Battalion have to convert soon here on the power play.
And already it's sent down the ice by the Barrie Colts. The fans no longer sitting on their hands. They've got them in the air as the wave has made its way through Memorial Gardens. Here comes Petrov down the left wing side, in behind the net. Petrov down the right wing, now cuts back to the blue line, leaves it there for Nelson, sends it to the right side to Jackson. Pass to Petrov on the left, back up to Jackson, across to the right side, Nelson, across to Petrov, shot, scores! Petrov puts it in! And the Battalion have tied it on the power play. It's 1-1.
Well, we just talked about how important it was for the Battalion to score on one of these power plays. As you know that the chances are going to run out eventually. The referees are going to put away their whistles. They're going to start making calls against the Battalion at some point to try and make it more even. So, with that, Petrov tying it up here on the man advantage. Big good news for the Battalion with a sharp angle shot. And now that's goals in back-to-back games for Matvei Petrov, who had 0 in the playoffs going into Game 4 on Thursday night.
What was different about that play, it was the setup towards knowing he was going to shoot. The first two power plays, I felt like they were passing, not knowing what the next guy was going to do with the puck. That play was seamless. Nelson with a perfect pass over to Matvei, and he has 2 goals in the postseason, and both of them have been huge. Now Bloom to Ertel, tries to dangle around the goaltender, but he just couldn't bury that one. Puck's still alive. It gets sent to the line and sent down the ice. 1-1, 7 minutes to go in the first period. And I think this is where the Battalion are going to have to be disciplined now, as the officials and the Colts are looking for a makeup call at some point here.
That being said, all those calls against the Colts were legitimate penalties. It's not like they were, we did this goal call against the Battalion, now we have to give them an easy power play. No, all those calls that the Colts took were legitimate penalties, and the Battalion so far, other than retaliatory stuff, have played a fairly clean game, Matt. As the fans here getting into it in section 2, looking for a giveaway from Sarge. And we get set up on the far side of the broadcast by DeVincentis.
Arnsby in the middle to take the draw. Cardwell and Van Steensel still in the box, offsetting Miners there. North Bay win the draw. They send it around to the near side boards. Punt it, pinching in to get control of it from Tarasevich. Tarasevich gets it back, falls down. Barrie in control. They put it to the middle. Jolwin is there, but he lost it. And now North Bay break out of the zone with it. Brostowski through the neutral zone, gets it onto the stick of Romani, who gets it over the blue line, but then he's pushed off the puck. It comes out to the neutral zone. Nelson is there, and he will dump it down. Arnsby behind the net. Romani supporting him. Knocked away off a couple of sticks, and is slapped to the far side boards. And there's the makeup call right there. As skating into the zone was Mathurin. He runs into Lowe. Lowe falls down, and a call is being made. 6 minutes to go as the Colts get the 6th attacker out there. Mathurin is going to get his money's worth, as coming into the zone was York, and he threw maybe a questionable hit there on York.
I would say that one was more questionable than
exactly.
the other one.
But like I said, going to get his money's worth if he's going to the box anyway.
Tripping is the call. I'm confused. Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe, yeah. On the replay, but in real time, I'm like, really? What's going on here? Seeing the replay, the benefit of replay in today's game of hockey, at least we get to see that, yes, okay, I'll give it to them on that one. Barrie's power play also clipping in at 34.1%. That's good for number 1 in the league in the playoffs. The Battalion at 82.1% on the penalty kill is good for 8th in the playoff teams.
Jelsma's shot from the slot is just wide. And I remember from games 1 and 2, that they have a potent power play. Just from seeing it with my own eyes here at the Gardens. Now it's McDonald coming in. There's a shot. Save made. Rebound behind the net. It's Zito back there, but he can't get it back out in front. McDonald and Zito were rushing down the ice as they broke out of the zone, albeit shorthanded.
Even with Christopoulos, sorry.
Frasca lost it over the blue line, and he sends it, and it's McDonald sending it down the ice. 1:20 to go in the Barrie power play. Their first of the game. Battalion 1 for 4 on their chances. North Bay find the puck in their own zone, and they send it right back down the ice. 5 minutes to play in the period. 1-1 the score. The Colts opened up the scoring. Ty York at 8:41. Petrov scored on the power play at 12:34 to tie the game. Coming back into the zone. And the Colts, no, delayed offside, looks like. Now they come back in the zone, but the Battalion defenseman Ty Nelson was just holding the puck behind the net for as long as he needed to before finally slapping it down the ice. 30 seconds to play now on this power play as the Colts bring it out of the zone. McDonald over the blue line. Finds Matthews on the near side boards. Matthews back to McDonald in the middle. Poked off the stick by Hislop, and he throws McDonald hard into the corner. Puck still in that corner. Christopoulos kicks it out of there for North Bay. Gets it up to Tarasevic, and he sends it down the ice. 10 seconds to go in the Colts power play. 4 minutes remaining in the first period. 1-1 here in Game 5. Series tied at 2. McDonald sends it around to the far side. Picked up there by the Colts, but now they can't get a pass to the middle, and North Bay will get out of the zone with it as we're back to 5-on-5. Bloom over the blue line dumps it down to Wakely behind the net. He avoids a hit, but then could not control the puck. Sent around the far side boards, and Bertowski chases it out. Sent across to Lukin. Down the left wing for Bloom. He deflects it as it goes into the near side corner in the Barrie zone. The Colts pick up the puck, but they get blocked by Wakely from trying to clear it. Wakely now puts it behind the net, looking to get it up to Jackson there, but Jackson gets it taken away from him by Cholach, and Cholach will now drop back towards his own goal line and just hold it behind the net with 3 minutes to play in the first period. Still 1-1 here. And now the Colts coming in on a late 3-on-2. They send it to the slot, but a good defensive play there by Lukin to break it up. Lukin turns it back over. Now the Colts turn it back over, and it's Petrov out of the zone. 1-on-1 down the ice. Petrov shot in and out of the glove of Thornton, and he holds on to it for the stoppage and play with 2:42 remaining in the first. 1-1 the score.
Interesting of note, too, the Colts had a 5-0 shot lead at one point. The Battalion now are up to 12 shots, the Colts only having 9. So the Battalion have really turned things around here in this period, especially having all those power plays will help out, I'm sure. But we're still tied up where it really counts at 1 between the Battalion and Colts here in game number 5.
Well, what, they outshoot them 56-30 in game 4?
Yeah.
27-10 between the third period and overtime, so.
I can tell you in that third period, though, they say the Colts only got a few shots. They got a few more than a few shots, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Quality chances?
Yeah, I guess.
In behind the net in the North Bay zone. Picked up on the near side by Zito. He'll drop it back behind the net for Mathurin. Back, who carries it to the far side. Now he plays it back behind the net for Zito. Zito now carries it down the right wing, trying to get out of the zone with it, but one of the Barrie players fell on top of the puck and then almost got kicked in the head with everyone skating by him. He appears to be okay as Mathurin moves it down the ice, drops it back to McDonald over the blue line, and his shot towards Thornton is wide of the net. Now it's Zito on the near side corner, holding it there. He's the only Battalion player in the zone as all 4 other guys went off for a change, but the puck is still in that area thanks to Zito, and now he sets it up in front, and the shot from Van Steensel is blocked by Thornton with 1:41 to go. How about Zito doing that work down low there?
Yeah, Pasquale Zito, I remember at one point in the regular season, I was like, he's an upgrade on some of the situations they had earlier in the year, but it didn't seem like he got the wheels, clicking here in North Bay right away. But in the playoffs, he's been a heck of a performer. I believe he's a point-a-game player. If he's not a point-a-game player, he's pretty darn close. Yeah,
he has been impressive so far in the postseason. Finished with 14 goals in the regular season. He's up to 11 points now in the postseason. There's a shot coming in. Save made by DiVincentis. 9 of those points are assists, and he's a +7 through his 11 games played. Of course, he had a long playoff run last year with the Windsor Spitfires, had 7 points in 16 games as the Spitfires went on quite the run.
Playing up on that top line with Alex Christopoulos as well, who was at Game 3 in Barrie, cheering his brother Paul on. Was good to see Alex in attendance.
Face-off won by North Bay, looking to move the puck out of their own zone. Van Steensel sends it to the neutral zone. It's picked up by Barrie and sent right back in. North Bay send it right back out. It's Tarasevich flipping it up to Arnsby, who comes in onside. Arnsby pushed from behind, but he gets back up and sends the puck in deep into the zone. He gets around to the near side corner. Van Steensel's there as well as Tarasevich. Tarasevich dangles around a couple of guys trying to get out of the positions of the boards there, but then he lost it. And it's being carried out by Clark. Clark all the way over the blue line. Tries to send it back to the point. He gets it to Cardwell. Cardwell walking in. Sends it in front. It's redirected the other way. Picked up in the corner by Frasca. He's held on the boards. Tried to play it to the middle. That one gets knocked away from the stick of Wiggle. And it's out, carried out by Romani. Romani sends it across the far side. Whoa, there's about 7 North Bay guys on the ice there on that late change. And now one of the North Bay players is being pushed into the Barrie Colts bench by the Colts players, but that was Lucan, and now Lucan looks to be okay after he gets away from what could have been a potentially dangerous play there, as now North Bay go offside with 23 seconds remaining in the first period. 1-1 the score.
Lucan going back out to get his stick. The Colts have it on their bench. They just fished it up, and now Brant Clark has it. So I don't know what's going on there. Lucan now looking around for his stick, as the linesmen are looking for it as well. Brant Clark finally giving it up. I guess they must have thought it was theirs. I thought they were just doing it to be a Brad Marchand about it, type of thing, be a little bit of a pest, but Lucan does get his stick back.
They're laughing about it. They had it they knew they had it the whole time. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, some gamesmanship being played there, that's for sure. Look, they're laughing about it on the bench. We shoved him into the bench and then took his stick.
Might as well if you're going to take the player.
That's street hockey, right? That's it, yeah.
If you're gonna make a mid-game trade.
Here comes Wakely towards the net to Ramadi, and as he sends it back to Wakely, the buzzer goes. They had Thornton out of position. He was in the position to make the save, though, and now after the whistle, Wakely and one of the Barrie players collide with each other on the far side boards, and Wakely is down on top of that Barrie player. And this series, if it hasn't already, it is getting nasty. I don't know if the player didn't like the fact that Wakely shot it after the buzzer or what. But at the end of 20 minutes, the North Bay Battalion and the Barrie Colts are tied 1-1 in this game. They're tied 2-2 in the series. And Derek and Courtney will break down everything that happened in period number 1. We'll be back. You're watching the Frontline broadcast right here on YouTube, presented by Average Joe's. Stay tuned for more.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And welcome back inside Memorial Gardens, where we're through 20 minutes of play. Each team finding the back of the net once, and we're deadlocked at 1. Let's take a look at that first period scoring summary, as it was Ty York with his 4th of the postseason, opening up the scoring at 8:41 for the Barrie Colts. Kind of a weird goal as it bounced in off of his chest and entered the net. Cooper Matthews and Josh Kavanaugh with the assist on York's goal. And then on the power play, Matvey Petrov with his 2nd goal tied things up from Nelson and Jackson, that coming at 12:34. Few penalties in that first period. Ethan Cardwell went off for tripping at 6:11. Ty York went off for roughing at 8:41. Ironsby also for roughing at 8:50. Tanias Mathern for tripping at 14:08. And then just at the end of the period, Dallin Wakely goes off for interference, for roughing. So the Colts will start the second period with a 2-minute power play. On the power play, the Battalion 1 for 1 with a man advantage. Meanwhile, the Barrie Colts still 0 for 1. Taking a look at shots on goal in that first period, North Bay Battalion out shooting the Barrie Colts by a total of 13-10. One other game in the OHL, it was an early start in Ottawa, as the Ottawa 67s had to score 4 unanswered goals in the third period to keep their season alive, as they came back to win 5-4, and they will go back to Peterborough for Game 6 Monday night, with the Peterborough Petes leading that series 3-2. In the NHL this afternoon, one game is a final as the Vegas Golden Knights defeat the Winnipeg Jets. That game finished in double overtime. Knights taking a 2-1 lead in that series. Later tonight, an 8 o'clock start as the Devils and Rangers get underway. The Colorado Avalanche are in Seattle to take on the Kraken at 10 o'clock. And the other game to note, it might be a little bit bigger. Through 20 minutes of play in Tampa Bay, the Leafs and Lightning are tied at 2, Courtney. So that being said, very exciting, as the Leafs already with a couple goals, but that game tied at 2. But very interesting first period. A weird start, as the Barrie Colts do score a weird-looking goal off of the body of Matthews. And after 2 lengthy reviews, it's being deemed a good goal.
Also, just hearing from Mr. Bob Coles, that's Mike Amadio who scored the overtime winner. So, Battalion alum right there making good. That's 2 straight games now that the Colts have got a really lucky bounce to help them out on the first goal of the game. Although this time the Battalion didn't wait till it was 3-1 to try and tie it up. They got it back in that period on the power play from Matvey Petrov. And unfortunately, Dallin Wakely taking that roughing call. So Matt and I were talking about that, how it's going to even out the calls, because the Battalion had a bunch of power plays there. And now the Colts are going to even them up on that call. And at some point, it was going to dry up the calls, because you know how in playoff games, the referee likes to put away the whistle, right? So with that there, I think that's the Wakely makeup call as well. So we are even now when it comes to that stuff. And a very weird period indeed, Derek, where the ebbs and flows didn't really feel like it was favoring any one team, and then the Battalion would go ahead with some pressure. The Colts would come back with some pressure. Then the Battalion would get the pressure again. It's a bit of a weird period indeed, but entertaining here for the fans as well.
Yeah, we talk about how the referees like to put away their whistles. Tonight's officials, Mike Carnes and Dave Lewis. We haven't seen Lewis much this year up in North Bay, but Mike Carnes been a regular in Memorial Gardens calling a lot of games, and he's very familiar with this building and the North Bay Battalion. So quite wondering how the game will fare with him wearing the stripes in hand.
Yeah, it might be a bit of an interesting one. I know there's been a lot made at the NHL level of current referees with certain coaches and stuff. Do I buy into that? Well, the Wes McCauley one with Sheldon Keefe is a little interesting knowing the history there. But at the same time, the referees are supposed to be here to play a non-biased game. However, we have seen instances in referees, especially in the NBA, taking bribes to fix games.
I don't think that's happening here, but we'll have to wait and see. The other big news today is the OHL under U16 draft, and I just want to take a look at the lucky players that were picked today by the North Bay Battalion through 15 rounds. First off, we talked pregame about Carter Kostic from Vaughan, Zachary Wilson playing with the Central Ontario Wolves. Their third pick, a left-handed D from Renfrew, Aaron Enright. He has a good name there. Adam Smeaton taken in the 5th round, 99th overall by the Don Mills Flyers, as the Battalion had back-to-back picks in the 5th round. They had 99 Smeaton at 100. Reith Smith went from the Windsor AAA Spitfires, and then at 101, Stefan Chukarev from the Vaughan Kings. Interesting prospect who came over from Russia, has dual citizenship already. Then the Battalion jump in with the goaltender in the 6th round, Charlie LaRocque, a Carleton Place player who trains with North Bay Battalion goaltending coach Mavic Parks. Ryan Fairbairn in the 6th round, also at 121 from North Central. Another Declan Gallivan, a left D, standing just over 6 feet from the Sioux Greyhounds. He was the captain of Team NOHA that just recently competed down at the OHL Cup. James Meredith went in the 8th round from the Toronto Nationals. Another goaltender, so the Battalion taking 2 goaltenders today. Caden Buller from Peterborough went in the 9th round. 10th at 201, Tanner Lawson from the Halton Hurricanes. From Ajax Pickering, Landon Stevens in the 11th round. The 12th round, Ewan McChesney from the Vaughan Kings. From Waterloo, Matthew Derrigan. Waterloo, surprisingly, is coached by Father Tyler Ertel. Father of, so maybe a little bit of inside knowledge there on Derrigan.
You see a lot of Twitter posts by him.
Yeah, he's very out there. In the 13th round, Deke Osterholt from the Quinton Red Devils. And finally, in the 14th round, Ryan Daze from the Mississauga Steelheads. 5'9" this year, playing in the Great Toronto Hockey League. So congratulations to all the players that heard their names called today or yesterday, and congratulations to all those. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys up here in North Bay. Really looking forward to the spring camp, when the first time we're going to see these prospects on the ice right here at Memorial Gardens.
Yeah, and Ryan Daze out there as well, because he lives in North Bay, was out there honored pregame. Not very often you see a 15th rounder get honored in a pregame ceremony, but North Bay doing right by its local boys, so good to see there for sure, along with the first 2 picks as well, Zachary William and Connor Kostic. I almost forgot his name already. I knew it was a different name to look at. I'm like, come on, Adam.
I know, like, can you not
like,
ask us for decisions on this?
Yeah, like, we need pronouncers here. Come on, man. So, I mean, Dallin Wakely, Ethan Procession, you know, you're looking at some of these names, you're like, what are we doing? Divinchentis, I don't know what's going on, right? So, that being said, yeah, it was an exciting day here at the Gardens of the Battalion. Like, their goalie's named Charlie Robertson, Charlie Abbott back in the day being taken by the team as well. So, they seem to really enjoy that type of stuff. Yeah, you know, when you have a brass, the top end of this team with so many goalies,
yeah,
you know they're going to take a couple of goalies every draft, right?
It's almost like you have to, but it was surprising to see 2 of them taken so close together in the rounds. But congratulations again, and can't wait to see you. Just remember, it was only a few years ago where we didn't get to see Ty Nelson come out on this ice for that prospect camp, but that was a long time ago. But now one of the leaders of this team, and then Ethan Procession last year being the 1st round pick from the North Bay Battalion. Hopefully to see many more in the years. I got the chance to talk to Adam Dennis before the game tonight in the hallway, and I asked him, so how happy are you to be done with the part that you have control of today's part of the game? He says it's really nice to be done, but we need to finish off strong with a win tonight. He says I can't control what's happening out there on the ice, but I'm really glad that the boardroom work is done for the day. So
you got to think, as a guy who used to have so much influence on a game, being the goalie of a Memorial Cup winning team, that it must just kill him inside to not be able to go out there. Same with Ryan Houlihan. to be able to not go out there on the ice and actually compete for these guys. But that's what happens when your career is over and you get into hockey and other places, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to say it's been a few years since we heard of Ty Lindeman's name called in the draft.
That was
well.
2016. Yeah, saw him here.
You feel
And
the back pain, yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. And speaking of Adam Dennis, we saw his name appear this week on an OHL post out of London as Brett Brochu broke while Dennis was tied with two other goaltenders for most shutouts in a playoff season, as Brett Brochu now with 4 on the season, as the London Knights have already punched their ticket into the Western Conference, knocking out Kitchener in 5 games. And another local flavor, Ben Goudreau, helped the Sarnia Sting sweep the Saginaw Spirit. So it's going to be London and Sarnia in the finals of the West.
Can you believe that's the first time Sarnia's been to the conference finals? I saw that post. I was like, there's no way.
No.
They had with guys like Steven Stamkos, and then of course we know what he became at the NHL level. But they had a young Nail Yakupov along with Alex Galchenyuk, who were both really good junior players, and they never made it to the Western Conference Finals. That is wild to me.
It is wild, and that to me is going to be a really good series. And you know what? Those two teams are already done, and the Eastern Conference still going on strong. We know that Game 6 will be happening Monday night. We're going to see it. Well, you're going to be down in Barrie. I'm going to see if I can join you for that game, Game 6. You can catch right here on the front line. 7:30 start again from the Sadlon Arena in Barrie. Hoping that the troops will have an opportunity to close that one out.
Yeah, my sleep schedule's not really a big fan of having to go back down to Barrie, but the things we do. Also, you can catch today a new episode of the Frontline Podcast recorded right from my car between Barrie and Aurelia, between Ben Long and I. We get a little bit silly because we're pretty tired at that point. It is past midnight, and we did record it. And the audio quality's not the greatest because it is my phone in a moving car, but you can't find it. I'm very happy with the name of the episode, Rodeo.
And it sure was. What a show that was. 2 overtime periods before Romani with an unbelievable goal to finish off that game. Not only a good goal, but also a great pass from Wakely.
Absolutely great pass by Wakely. Getting, we talk about the Wakely family a lot here on the broadcast and podcast. And getting a scouting report from Papa Mike after the game, I said, what a feed by Dal. He said, that's a practice play between the two of them. They've done that in practice many times.
Okay, quickly, 30 seconds left. Ryan Ulan, any adjustments coming out for the second?
I think you want your guys a little bit more on the puck in the offensive zone. They've left open some spots, and there's been some rebounds that have come out that they haven't been able to get to. I think you need to get more quick on the puck on that stuff because Barrie's letting it sit there. They're giving you time. You just need to get there and make something happen out of it.
Definitely looking for a little bit more offense opportunities out of here as the shot's only 13-10 for the Battalion, but the score is tied here 1-1 as we get set for the second period. Matt Sukram will rejoin Courtney Kenny for the call of the second as we're deadlocked at 1 here on the front line as you are watching Colts Battalion in Game 5.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back inside Memorial Gardens here for period number 2 between the North Bay Battalion and Barrie Colts in game number 5 of the series, which is all tied up at 2 apiece. Score on goal is 1-1 after 20. The battalion will be looking to kill off a Dallin Wakely roughing penalty at the end of that period as well, which gets started here in this period. I'm Courtney Kenny, and it's a bit of an old school vibe here today on the front line as I'm pleased to be joined by Matthew Sucrum on play-by-play. It's been a while since we've done a game together, Matt.
I was going to say, you ever see the Jordan Peele, Keegan-Michael Key skit? You got to take it old school, man.
Yes,
yeah.
That's exactly what we're trying to do here.
I guess that's what the fans wanted today, so we giving them that old school feel today.
I like it.
So here we go, penalty or power play underway for the Barrie Colts. It's Clark at the line, dishes it off to the right side. Holding it there is A-Key. Still holding it. Now it'll go to the board. Sends it across the zone to Cardwell. He'll skate back to the far side. Sends it to the left side to Clark. At the line, he'll send it down low. Back up to the near side boards. Getting in the way of the pass. But then it's turned over. Right in front of the net. Frasca scores. And the Colts take the lead. 2-1 early in the second period.
Bit of a bad fortune there for the battalion, much like the first one there, where the puck bounce didn't go their way as they tried to dump the puck out of their zone and hit one of their own teammates and bounced out front for Frasca, who scored the overtime winner in game number 3 and now puts the Colts up 2-1 here. They're only 47 seconds into the period on the power play. One thing I wanted to make a note of on their power play is they like to go with the 2 defensemen, but that's what you do when you have a guy like Grant Clark, who's essentially a fourth forward out there.
Yeah, I mean, reminds me a lot of how the battalion utilized Ty Nelson.
When you have the tools, you might as well use it.
That's exactly it. So we've got 19:05 remaining in the second period, and now here comes McDonald down the ice, the shot, and it goes high. Petrov sent it over to McDonald as they cross the blue line, and that one just going high as it deflected off a stick. 19:02 to go in the second period. The Colts leading 2-1 now. And yeah, it was an unfortunate bounce there that went the Colts' way, leading to that goal.
And we talked about the even up calls as well. Now the battalion had all those power plays, and I think that Wakely one was an even up call for sure.
Absolutely. So the Colts now 1 for 2 on their power play opportunities. North Bay with control of the puck, trying to get it out of their own zone. It's blocked by Cardwell, but he drops it back to Hache, who sends it across to the right side to Clark, and he will dump it down the ice into the North Bay zone. It's picked up by Nelson. He tries to clear. That gets blocked. Back behind the net. Holding it there is Savard. Plays it down the right side half boards. Now to Jelsma. Across to the left side to Clark. Back up high to Hache. The shot gets blocked. And McDonald's trying to get out of the zone with it. He and Hache are tangled up in the neutral zone. Now coming in is Zito. His shot gets blocked. And now he finds it. Gets over the blue line. Push from behind. And there's another penalty coming up. And it's going to be against the Barrie Colts.
Don't take a retaliation here. You need the power play.
And here's the thing. You mentioned the makeup calls, right? The battalion already with 4 power plays in the game. This will be their 5th if it's only going to be called against one guy here. But, I mean, this is where when you're looking at the score 2-1, you're going, we may have missed some opportunities early in this game.
That'll be Declan McDonald in the box for 2 minutes or less, although I'm sure battalion fans would love it to be less than 2 minutes. I mean,
No
not
kidding.
that you ever want to see a guy like Declan McDonald back out on the ice, but it would be nice for them if he's back out, as they're going to start the second power play unit here.
Well, I think most of those guys that were just on the ice, right? So most of the first power play unit was just out there. North Bay cannot win the draw. They're chasing it all the way down the ice. Avery Winslow has it. Down the middle, he drops it back to Ertel. And he'll backhand it in the zone. Goes around to the near side and dumped out of the zone by the Colts. And it goes all the way down into the North Bay end of the ice.
Ertel getting away with one there.
Yeah, I saw that too. Romani feeds it up to Wakely, takes a shot. Save made by Thornton. Big rebound in the middle of the zone. Hertel to the point to Winslow. Back to Hertel in the right side circle. To the middle. Romani's shot goes just wide of the net. Picked up by Punnett, and he will clear it easily. Tracked down just behind the blue line is Winslow. Getting that puck. He tries to send it across to the near side. And the Colts go offside as they bring the puck over the blue line. 17:21 remaining in the second period. 2-1 the score for the Colts, but they're still down by a man for the next minute and 4 seconds.
Battalion haven't really been able to get anything going here on the power play this go-around, as they've allowed almost a minute to go by, but they do have the first unit out here now, which scored a power play goal in that first period, with Matvey Petrov converting as they win it back to Nelson in their own zone.
And Nelson will carry it back behind his own net with less than a minute to play on the power play. Now he's got speed coming down the middle, sends it down the left side to Jackson. Jackson sends it up the boards for Nelson, and it's whipped around, and it comes to the near side point to Petrov. Feeding it back down the right side boards. It's Zito in control. Across to the far side to Nelson. Nelson at the line. Nelson almost tangled up with Zito, but he gets the pass off to Jackson. Jackson holding it at the top of the circle. Across to the far side, that is Petrov, who drops it back for Nelson. Back up to the point to Petrov. He feeds it down low. It's deflected off the stick of Clark, and it will go out of play. And now it seems like the fans getting a little bit frustrated with this North Bay power play that has 22 seconds remaining in it.
Can't say I blame them, as this power play's been hot and cold all year long. As now we see some more rough stuff between Zito, and it looks like Clark he's going after. So guess what? Zito's going to take a penalty. And that's been one thing that is, maybe not, oh no, he will be. And that's been something that's been incredibly frustrating all playoff series long with Zito. As good as he's been on the ice, he goes back and usually you find him taking a retaliatory penalty, and it's not good news for the Battalion here, as now they'll be penalized after 22 seconds. We'll have 4-on-4 hockey for 22 seconds.
And he's drawn 2 penalties for the North Bay Battalion so far today, but you're right. But this is a thing where, and this is where a lot of the fan comment sections are chatting about, and you know the hockey forum boards are chatting about. It seems like anytime Clark is involved, the officials seem to look the other way, and he's not the guy that's getting penalized.
No, he got penalized once, which ended up being the Kyle McDonald goal in Game 4, and I think that's the first time I've ever seen him sit in a penalty box.
11 penalty minutes so far in this postseason in 9 games.
That's more than I thought.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Nelson was out there with a long chat with the referee, and now he goes off, as the Battalion will have to kill off another penalty, which they gave up a goal here in this period.
And Ryan Olahan doesn't like the information that Ty Nelson is giving him, but don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
It's, oh, man. So, as Courtney said, 4-on-4 for the next 10 seconds now. And then the Colts will get their third power play of the game. It will be abbreviated, of course, with 16:20 to go in the game. Here come the Colts down the ice. Bodwin gets checked into the boards. Puck is still on that near side. It goes around behind the net. Christopoulos has it. He sends it down the ice. The Battalion on the penalty kill, but they've got Arsby going forward. Arsby sends it in, and Thornton makes the glove save. I've liked seeing Arsby getting more involved in the offensive side of the game. Again, he scored the first goal of the game for the Battalion in Game 4, and it was just one of those prototypical Arsby goals, just those grind it out, fight for the puck, and shovel it somewhere into a good position. And the good position last night was it went over the goal line.
Yeah, Liam Arnsby's been asserting himself a lot more offensively here this playoff series than we saw in the regular season, and that's only good news for the Battalion, as he's been successfully getting under the skin of a lot of Colts players here in this playoff series.
Bloom can't hold the line as the Colts break out of the zone with it. Dumped down, and it will be chased around to the near side of the zone in the North Bay end, with 1 minute to go on this shortened Colts power play, but it gets skipped past everybody and will go the length of the ice. Clark has it. He feeds it back up ahead into the North Bay end. Play on the near side. Now it's Cardwell. Cardwell at the blue line gets pressured by 2 Battalion players, and they're able to shove the puck over the blue line and get it cleared again. In the neutral zone, The Colts get it back up to Carwell. He dumps it down the ice. Sent around one side of the board, sent back around to the other side. It's Ertl now breaking up the pass. He sends it to the far side, but Akey keeps it in the zone. He finds Clark at the line. He feeds it down low. That's blocked by North Bay, and they send it down the ice. 15 seconds remaining in the penalty to Zito. And the Colts will dump it down the ice, and that will be icing called against Barrie Colts. So 3 seconds remaining in the penalty to Zito, and the Battalion will have the offensive zone draw.
That should kill off the remaining 3 seconds here in this penalty kill. As you mentioned, the Battalion will have an offensive zone draw with Jackson and Petrov out there with Mathurin and Lucan. To the broadcast side dot in the Colts zone, as Jackson loses the draw to Grisolia, and the Colts are going to quickly get the puck down the ice.
They kick it over the line, but then offside is called against Barrie. So with 14:33 to go, faceoff will be in front of the Barrie bench in the neutral zone. 2-1 lead for the Barrie Colts. On the Matvei Petrov goal, the assists were from Ty Nelson and Kyle Jackson. So Kyle Jackson and Matvei Petrov continuing to climb the franchise leader books, or in terms of points, playoff points for in a North Bay Battalion career. Well, actually in Battalion franchise career, because it also includes guys in the Brampton days. I'll give you a little bit more of that in the next whistle, but here is Lowe inside the blue line, feeds it to the middle. The shot gets blocked. North Bay trying to get it out of the zone. It's blocked. Grisolia coming in, tries to pass across the slot. That gets blocked by North Bay. Now the puck is on the near side boards. Romani gets it to the far side to Petrov, who feeds it back to Romani in the neutral zone. Trying to bring it over the blue line. He can't. And now Grisolia is going back the other way over the blue line, trying to shovel it forward. North Bay break up that attempt, and it's Mathurin bringing it down the ice on the right side, dumping it in. 13:45 to play in the second period. Colts ahead 2-1. They get it out of the zone. It's Jackson who picks it back up, tries to dump it in. That's blocked. Christopoulos will try as well. He sends it forward. It's blocked by the stick of Clark, who will then have to chase it deep in the zone, and he gets it out quickly to the neutral zone. Carrying it in down the left side is McDonald. Plays it to the middle to Jelsma. Jelsma takes a shot, bounces in front of the net. Nobody there for the Colts. So North Bay get it out to the neutral zone. It's Wakely now, sending it around in the near side boards. McDonald's there for North Bay. Sends it across the zone for Bristowski. Bristowski sends it in, scores! Luke Bristowski has tied the game at 2 here in the second period.
Well, the Colts got a bit of a fortunate bounce there. The Battalion might have got a bit of a fortunate bounce on that goal, as it looks like Luke Bristowski got a tip in front, whether or not it's from a Battalion or a Colt player. But that was a very harmless-looking shot that we've seen Anson Thornton handle all series long. And now the Battalion are back tied at 2 after they looked like they couldn't really get anything going so far here in this period, Matt.
That is Luke Bristowski's first career playoff goal. He had 2 goals in the regular season, and that may be the biggest goal in his life.
Wakely with an assist on that one, his second assist in as many games as well.
And now comes Zito over the blue line. Takes a shot in and out of the glove of Thornton, but it's picked up by the Colts. Bowden out to the neutral zone. They try to dump it in. North Bay block it just behind the blue line, and it'll be played out. Nelson, stretch pass down the ice. He got it to the stick of Petrov, but then it trickled off the end of his blade and has to go back out the other way. So now Hislop will try down the left wing for North Bay. Gets it into the zone, but it's Akey there for the Colts, and Akey turns it over to Petrov. Petrov, it's a 2-on-1. Now it's a 3-on-1. Trailer to Zito, back to Petrov, back to Zito in front. Scores! Pasquale gives the Battalion a 3-2 lead in Game 5.
Pasquale Zito doing his best to kind of say, I took that penalty earlier, at least we killed it off. Now it's my turn to basically try and help things out here offensively. as Pasquale Zito showing why he was acquired from Michael Podolou and picks from Niagara this season. And now, of course, you'd think that the Colts are going to want to look at goaltender interference on that one, but to me, it was their own players that were in the way.
The game was tied at 2. The series was tied at 2. It did not last long as the North Bay Battalion scored 2 very quickly here, back-to-back in the second period. And all of a sudden, the momentum shifts again. We've talked about a couple of goals being scored off unfortunate bounces. That was an unfortunate error by the Colts in their own zone. And now here come the Battalion again. To the far side, Winslow scores! Make it 3! And the Battalion lead 4-2. The floodgates may be opening now.
Are you kidding me, Matt? Are you kidding me? After the start to the series that Thornton has had, the way he's played, the Battalion have just completely dissected the Colts on back-to-back-to-back plays here at Memorial Gardens, picking their way through the defense, finding their way as we now are going to get a timeout here at Memorial Gardens for the Colts as they are reeling now here in game number 5.
Avery Winslow had 1 goal in the regular season. He's now got 1 goal in the postseason, but he's a guy I felt has been snake bitten at times. He's a guy I feel like he definitely probably could have had a couple more in this postseason.
And the poor guy had battled severe injuries all season long as well. We see it there. He only played 41 games here in his overage season for the Battalion. And he's been a find for the troops since they were able to get him from London. Oh my goodness, Avery Winslow. One of the first moves by General Manager Adam Dennis.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, one of the first trades made by Adam Dennis as general manager was to acquire Avery Winslow from the London Knights.
That was 3 years ago now?
2019, or it was, 2020, January 2020, before the world went haywire.
Yeah. Yeah. So for Avery Winslow to get that goal with Adam Dennis is standing in that corner that Winslow went and celebrated in, I mean, that is poetic right there. North Bay were down 2-1 at the 6:49 mark of the second period. Since then, they've had 2 defensemen and a third line forward put pucks in the net.
He's listed as the first line forward. Oh, Van Steensel.
Van Steensel's getting credit for that goal.
Zito. Yeah, okay. I am confused. But I thought it was Zito for sure. So, hey,
I thought it was Zito as well.
And you know what? Van Steensel's had himself some great looks here in this Barrie series as well.
It might get changed again. But it was I feel like it was Arnsby, Van Steensel, and Zito that were going in the zone there on that goal. Either way, in the span of, what is that? A minute and a half, the Battalion were down by a goal to leading by 2, and they iced the puck here with 10:45 remaining in the second period. 4-2 North Bay lead, and again, a win today would give them their first lead in this series. They have trailed the entire time.
A lot of people, including myself and Ben Sargent and you on the podcast, said this is going to be a long series. We thought it could go 6 games. It's definitely for sure going 6 games. Is anyone going to be surprised if it goes 7 at this point?
There's a stretch pass down the ice off the end boards right to the stick of Romani, but he could not get the shot off. He does at least beat out the icing call. Now it is the other way with the Colts in control. Jonwen stops in the corner, sends it to the point, across to the far side. That's Clark there. He sends it back in front of the net, but the play is broken up. North Bay got in the way, and it's Wakely who sends it to the right side boards, trying to get it out now. It's Petrov. Petrov to the line. Jodwin Wakely battling with it. Clark finds the puck. He sends it across to the far side. Colts in control now. They feed it in the slot. Play broken up again by North Bay, and it's Petrov who will control it and hold it and wait with it behind the net. Now he whips it around the board, sends it out to the neutral zone. Wakely is there, but he gets pushed off the puck, and it's back into the North Bay end. A couple of hard poke checks, and Petrov will skate out of the zone with it. 9:45 to go in the second period, and it's Savard coming back in. Drops it to McDonald. His shot goes wide of the net. Off the end boards to the blue line. Set back down low. Kicked around in the circle, and now the puck is in behind the net. Controlling it back there is McDonald. They try to feed it to the right side. Now they play it in front of the net, and that one is kicked away. It comes up to the near side to Punnett. Punnett dumps it back in behind the net. Controlled back there by Savard. He gets it back up high to Punnett. Takes a shot, deflected, and just goes wide. Picked up on the near side. Arnsby throws a hit. The puck comes to the half boards to Tarasevich. Tarasevich feeds it up to the blue line, and it gets cleared out of the zone. Now Arnsby with a shove at the line gets control of the puck. He had Van Steensel wide open but couldn't get to him. Now Savard on the counterattack. He gets stopped on the back check by two battalion defensemen rushing into the zone. Puck ends up behind the net. It's Brostowski back there with Arnsby. They shovel it along the boards to the near side, and that is Tarasevich. He plays it out to the blue line to Nelson, but he turns it over to York coming in, and the Colts go offside. 8:45 to go in the second period. We'll take a break and be right back.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens as we welcome Derek Lindemann back to the broadcast. And Derek, a little bit of a different atmosphere here in the Gardens than the last time that we talked to you between the benches, I have to say.
Yeah, quite differently now. The crowd really into this game, especially after the battalion respond with 3 unanswered goals after giving up that lucky bounce to start this period. The Battalion kind of flipped the switch along with the crowd, and it really turned things on, got a couple of bounces themselves, and that's what it takes to get a group into this, and you can hear the packed house screaming throughout the game now. You got to expect them to be on the edge of their seat for the rest of the game. Courtney, things are really looking up for the Battalion at the moment.
Carter Kostic with his 16th birthday on Friday. Derek, before we let you go, I wanted to ask, the Colts took that time out there quickly. Did you get to hear anything that was going on the bench?
All he said, Marty Williams said, was just stay calm. There's lots of time. We've come from behind before. Let's just stick to our game plan.
All right, Derek, we'll hear from you again with Ben Long on the intermission show here coming up. And we'll bring back in Matt Sukram here for the rest of the second period.
8.5 to play. The Battalion with control of it in the attacking zone, but they try to feed the puck across, but the Colts blocked it and then picked up the loose puck and sent it out of the zone, and they send it all the way down the ice. Brostowski, the Battalion defenseman who tied the game, gets it out of the zone, and it's past everybody and into the Barrie end. They'll send it back forward. Barrie trying to come in on the attack. It's Nelson with the puck, though, but it's knocked off his stick. It's Brostowski there. Brostowski turns it over to York, but then neither York or Brostowski can find the puck in their skates, so it's Zito coming in late in the play to find the puck, and he gets it out of the zone to McDonald. McDonald across to Zito over the blue line. Zito in front to McDonald, right on the doorstep. Can't get a shot off, but he sends it back to the point to Christopoulos. Back to the half boards, McDonald. He'll just poke the puck around behind the net. Bloom is shoved hard in the boards from behind, and that allows the Barrie Colts to get control of the puck, and they will skate out of the zone with it. They dump it down the ice. It's on the far side boards. To the point, that is Punnett. Punnett sends it around to the far side. Back up high to the point to Clark. Clark flips it back along the end boards to Cardwell. Cardwell pushing and shoving with Winslow in tow, trying to get the puck away from him. Winslow is able to push the puck to the near side boards, and the Battalion shoveling it up to the blue line. The Colts send it back in up high Now off the glass, play behind the net again. That's Cardwell back there. Winslow all over him again. They try to center it. Christopoulos blocked that pass, and it's the Battalion who moved the puck out of the ice, or out of the zone, down the ice to Ertel. Ertel over the blue line, coming in the zone, takes a shot, and it's over the glass and out of play. 6.
Oh, they did change it to Zito.
6:42 remaining in the second period. 4-2 the score, North Bay. They also changed this one back to Zito.
Yeah.
So,
that one to Zito.
Yeah, they gave that one back to Zito, and Winslow gets his credit for the...
But Van Steensel picked up an assist, so he doesn't lose a point.
Happy for Van Steensel on that. No, for sure. It's you never want to get robbed of a playoff point, right? And speaking of playoff points, as I tried to mention about 20 minutes ago now, we'll get to it in a minute. There's a chance on net. Savard right in front. He takes a stick in the mouth as he deflected the puck towards the empty side of the net, but it went wide. And the Battalion just not controlling the passes right now. It's bouncing off their stick as they try to move it forward. It's sent the other way. Now they are able to dump it in. And that puck is shot out, and look out. About 3 or 4 rows back there. It went off the stanchion, a lighting stanchion, and it came right back down into the row of seats. But everyone looks to be okay down there.
Well, Matt, I think now would be as good time as ever to finally bring up your playoff points.
Okay.
You've only been trying.
With a goal and an assist tonight. He's up to 26 points. That puts him in front of Evgeny Grachev for the top 10 in the points categories. We'll figure it out in the intermission. Here comes Jackson down the ice. Tries to drop it back. Nobody there, but now Erno coming in late in the play. Tried to get the puck away from Grisolia, but Grisolia gets away from him and sends it down the ice into the North Bay zone. It's Hislop who finds the loose puck. And it is Hislop who dumps it down. Now Ertel behind the net, trying to get it away from Grisolia. Grisolia breaks up the play, sends it to the far side boards. Now it's up to the line and cleared out of the zone by the Colts. North Bay from the neutral zone, dump it right back in. 5:15 to play in the second period. 4-2 the score with the Battalion ahead. But it's the Barrie Colts holding on to the puck behind the net. Now it's York from his own zone. Gets stopped at the North Bay blue line, and the puck is sent the other way. Arsby getting up to the loose puck right in front of Thornton, but it's poked away, goes up high, and then Thornton makes the catch for the stoppage in play.
So Jackson picking up a point here tonight, passes his former teammate Mitchell Russell to 24 points. And that puts him to where Matvey Petrov was.
At 11th on the list.
And same with Kyle McDonald. They're both tied for 11th. Matvey Petrov, as we mentioned, passing Evgeny Grachev. And then Ty Nelson picking up a point as well as tied Mitchell Russell, Camille Krebs, and Matthew Santos for 12th on the list with 23 points.
Kyle McDonald, who had the same amount of points as Kyle Jackson coming into the game, so they are still tied as he has an assist on the game as well.
And with that, Mitchell Russell also in attendance here today as well to see his teammates tie up his points. He had a heck of a run last season.
So 3 of the 4 guys who had 23 career playoff points in a Battalion uniform were in the building tonight. That's pretty neat.
Just need Matthew Santos.
That's it. And Camille Krebs, actually.
Yes, but fans will remember Matthew Santos here in North Bay.
Yeah.
Maybe not Krebs.
A lot of pushing and shoving going on inside the North Bay zone. Puck comes loose out to the neutral zone. It's Van Steensel with it, one-on-one. Van Steensel makes a move, goes to the middle, passes to the far side of the shot, just wide of the net, and then Tarasevich could not redirect it, but he picks it up behind the net. Comes out in front, takes a shot, and that one goes off the body of Thornton. Puck goes in the corner. Zito holding on to it, gets the puck knocked away off his stick, and it's cleared out to the neutral zone. North Bay turn it around, trying to go back the other way again. Zito from just behind the blue line dumps it down the ice. Play behind the net. Petrov looking for it, throws an attacker off of him and gets control of it, centers it to McDonald, but the kick save is made by Thornton. And now it's the Colts rushing the other way. Cardwell going in, puts on the brakes, centers it, save made by DiVincentis. Puck comes to the near side. Frasca throws a hit and sends the puck around the end boards. It's bouncing there. It goes to the far side. Petrov trying to push it out. It gets away from him as Cardwell has it now for Barrie. He sends it in front of the net. Nobody there for the Colts. McDonald picks it up for North Bay and he sends it down the ice. Slowly rolling towards the net and it just runs out of steam. So the Colts will have to play it out. And they get it up to the stick of Frasca over the blue line. Sends it just wide of the net. And then DiVincentis covers it up off the rebound, off the end boards. 2:43 to play in the second period. 4-2 score North Bay. And it's really been even-keeled ever since, when was the last penalty that was called in this period? Back at the 3:21 mark when Zito got called for roughing. Nothing's been called since then.
Yeah, the referees have kind of put away their whistles as if we thought they would here in this playoff game. And I must ask, this might be more of a podcast question than a broadcast question, but after 2 regular seasons in which you put up 90-plus points, now passing him in points in the playoffs, is Matvei Petrov the best import player in the Battalion franchise history? Passing Evgeny Grachev in the playoff points. I would have to say yes.
Yeah, I think you've got an argument. I think you really have an argument there. I'll have to take a look at what their. I think it's a no-brainer that he is the best import player that North Bay has ever brought in.
There is Radislav Klesla as well that the Battalion had. And they tried to bring in Nick Antropov.
There's a turnover down the ice. Here comes Romani in on net, but the puck gets poked away off his stick just at the end of that play.
That was a good defensive play by Brant Clark there. More known for his offense than his defense, but still the leader of this Colts team, showing things in the back end.
In behind the net in the North Bay zone, Hislop sends it to Brostowski. Hislop and Grisolia collide on the far side, and Grisolia is slow to get up after that play, but now he looks to be okay as the whistle is blown down with 2:10 to go in the second period. 4-2 North Bay lead. So back to your point there, Evgeny Grachev.
He only has 80 points because he only played 1 year. He played 60 games for the Battalion, putting up identical 40 goals and 40 assists.
So then Rafi Torres, 185 games played for the North Bay Battalion, 111 goals and 223 points compared to Matvei's 183 points in the regular season.
I don't think Torres is an import, though. Is he?
I'll have to check that. He might be. Well, you brought it up.
Okay. Excuse me. I'll do my homework better for the podcast, I promise. Of course, when you type in Rafi Torres, it comes up with the artist Rafi. That's not who I'm looking for, sorry. Rafi Torres is from Toronto, so he is definitely not an import player.
So, to answer your question, yes, Matvei Petrov solidifying himself as probably, arguably, and maybe undeniably the best import player in the 25-year history of this team. Breaking out of the zone, 2-on-1. Here comes Jackson, feeding across the far side, and Thornton with an unbelievable save to absolutely rob Josh Bloom of what should have been a goal, and that's going to draw a crowd now after the whistle, as the officials never blew the play down. So I believe Ertel came in late into the play and tried to shovel that puck in because it was sitting there on the blue paint, and now the officials trying to separate a bunch of guys. And didn't we just say things have started to calm down a little bit? Isn't that the way it goes? 1:35 remaining in the second period. It's a 4-2 North Bay lead. Ertel is in the box for sure. His helmet was kicked by Punnett, I believe.
So Ertel got into it to Savard. I wouldn't be shocked if he skates away from this. No, it looks like he's going in the box as well. Or maybe not. And that's the thing that, oh my goodness. I'm sure he's a very nice person. but on the ice I do not like Tyler Savard. So a little bit of history here. Game 2, Paul Christopoulos lines up his man for a clean hit. Originally deemed a major, he comes out of the box, allegedly from a very good source, i.e. someone between the benches. Tyler Savard threatened Paul Christopoulos when he came out of the box. Nothing happens there. Game 3 in Barrie. Tyler Savard runs Ty Nelson. Ty Nelson goes to hit him with a stick. The stick rides up, hits him in the face. Ty Nelson assessed a match penalty, kicked out of the game, no suspension, or he was absolved of a suspension, so somebody, ownership, may have paid for him not to be suspended because they know how much Ty Nelson means. And, Savard, once again, taking out the best battalion player in that game. Now this one goes after Ertel, and from what I can tell right now, it's Lukin and Ertel in the box, and only Punnett in the box for the Colts. So Savard is really well liked among these parts, as he skates away from any further discipline.
And now both Ertel and Lukin are being shown to the dressing room. It's because there's only 1:35 remaining in the period, so the officials sending them out. And
they may have gotten a 10-minute as well.
And Punnett is being sent to the dressing room as well.
Punnett from around here in Powassan, of course, a former Voodoo's alumni. Have to think that not well liked by some people here in North Bay as well. He's played a heck of a series. Credit where credit's due.
Yep.
Connor Punnett's had himself a good series for the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, he absolutely has. He's played that pest role perfectly. Just the one assist in the postseason so far.
So we are 5-on-5 here, so anything that comes out of it looks like it's coincidental so far. It will be Ben Long joining Derek Lindemann for your intermission show when we eventually get there with 1:35 left as we get set here for play again. Tyler Savard does get a penalty.
So there's a chance in front of the net. Cardwell was right there, could never settle that puck down. Back to the line. There's a shot, and the stick snaps in half. That was a weird one. And the Battalion are able to clear it out of the zone.
So to clean that up a little bit, all the players that were penalized each got 2 minutes for roughing. Savard and Punnett.
There's a shot on net. DiVincente's kick save. Loose puck on the doorstep. Everyone taking a whack at it, but then it comes loose to the near side. Frasca finds it, sends it to the point. There's Clark with a shot. That one's blocked with the traffic in front. Picking it up is Cardwell, skating to the line, turning around, sends it in towards the net. It's off his stick, over the glass, and out of play with 44.3 seconds remaining in the second period. North Bay ahead 4-2.
So Savard and Punnett each gone because of 2 minutes for roughing. Lukin and Ertel getting 2 for roughing as well.
Kyle Jackson's family tuning in all the way from Saskatchewan. Want to say hello to the Jackson family. Hope you're enjoying this one.
We're also getting told our facts as well. Brampton OHL history. Rafi is Canadian. So all we needed to do was look at the live chat to figure that one out.
That's it. We probably could have asked Chris Dawson as well.
Yeah, he's a hockey encyclopedia, isn't he?
36.2 seconds remaining. 4-2 the score. Face-off inside the North Bay zone. Down the line, Cholach across to the far side, back to the middle. Cholach takes a shot, and that one's deflected high over the glass and out of play.
You know, I have to say something just because the account Brampton OHL History is watching, this game and whatnot. And we've heard from Ryan Houlihan, the support from Brampton is still there, and it's great to see fans showing up from, the days when the team was in Brampton still supporting these boys in green, even though none of these players played a game in Brampton.
Puck sent around to the far side, up to the blue line. Kept in the zone by the Colts. They play it down the far side boards. It's picked up by Zito, and he is able to get it out. McDonald has it in the neutral zone with 5 seconds to go. He plays it back to Hislop. Hislop feeds it to Nelson, and time will wind down in the second period. The Battalion get 3 goals in less than 2 minutes to take a 4-2 lead over the Barrie Colts. Those goals coming between the 6:49 mark and the 8:15 mark of this second period. And that is where things will end as we head to the locker room after 40 minutes. Hope you're enjoying this one. This has been a lot of fun, and we still got 20 more minutes left on the clock to bring you. He's Courtney Kenny. I'm Matthew Sucrum. 4-2 lead for the North Bay Battalion as we head into the third period. You're watching the Frontline broadcast right here on YouTube, presented by Average Joe's. Don't go away. More on the way after this.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And we're back inside Memorial Gardens, where the Battalion, with 3 goals in a minute 49, take a 4-2 lead through 2 periods of play. Let's take a look at the second period scoring summary, as it took the Colts 37 seconds to regain the lead, as Jacob Frasca, with his 6th of the postseason on the power play, gave the Colts a 2-1 lead. Jalsma with the lone assist on that goal. Then at 6:49, Luke Bruskowski, with his first of the postseason, tied things up at 2, as McDonald and Wakely with assists on Bruskowski's first goal of the season. Battalion get their first of the lead just over a minute later, when Pasquale Zito put a loose puck into the cage, his 3rd of the postseason from Matvey Petrov. And then just 21 seconds later, Avery Winslow, this time with his first of the postseason, extends that lead to 2 from Owen Van Steensel and Liam Arnsby, as the Battalion take a 4-2 lead into this second intermission. A few penalties in that second period. Declan McDonald for tripping at 1:43. Pasquale Zito and went off for roughing at 3:21. Before Connor Punnett, Tyler Savard, Justin Ertl, and Alexander Lukin all went off for roughing at 18:25. Both teams scoring on the power play tonight, as the Barrie Colts 1 for 3 with the man advantage. The Battalion scoring 1 time on their 5 opportunities. Shots on goal after 2 periods of play. The Battalion with another 10 in that second for a total of 23. Meanwhile, the Barrie Colts with 8 in the second period for a game total of 18. one other game this afternoon in the OHL, and it was the Ottawa 67s who stormed back, trailing 4-1 to start the third period with 4 goals in that third period, and stay alive with a 5-4 victory. Game 6 in that series will be Monday night in Peterborough. Taking a look at the NHL playoffs, as earlier today, Mike Amadio with the game winner for the Vegas Knights as they would beat the the Winnipeg Jets 5-4 in double overtime. Other games going on currently, it is the Tampa Bay Lightning with a 3-2 lead, a minute left in the second period there in Tampa Bay. They are taking on the Maple Leafs. Through one period of play, it is scoreless between the Rangers and the Devils. And later tonight, the Seattle Kraken play host to the Colorado Avalanche. That is a 10 o'clock start. And my rotation of intermission hosts continue to rotate as joining me in the second intermission, Ben Long. Ben, quite an interesting game tonight. A full house, first time we've seen it, and the Battalion are excitingly up at 4-2 through 2.
Yeah, it's a packed house tonight, and that's really exciting, considering when the front line started broadcasting last year, and we were having limited to 500 people in the building, or even less at times. To go to having a packed house tonight, a full official sellout, it's exciting. It's a great environment to watch some hockey in too.
Yeah, great atmosphere here tonight, definitely. Story of this game has been bounces. A lot of lucky bounces going both ways. Barrie, both goals seem to be off of lucky bounces, and then the Battalion get a bounce of their own in the goal by Bruskowski.
Yeah, I mean, there's been this whole series has been that way, really. The first goal of Game 4 was an incredibly lucky bounce for Barrie. Now, speaking of the first goal, that also seems to be a reverse omen that if you score the first goal, you're not going to win the game. And North Bay's made good on that. We know how they are when they get into the third period with a lead.
Definitely, and the Battalion look to take their first lead of this series as they've trailed twice already in this series as they lost games 1 and 3 to fall down a game, but they're on level ground now. This, after tonight, the next game will be Game 6 in Barrie. You were with Courtney Kenny for the call of the last 2 games in Barrie. What's the atmosphere like down there?
Well, on the first game down there, Game 3, it was amazing. There was probably more Battalion fans in the building than Colts fans. I think a bus went down, a bunch of different people drove down on their own. There was a Battalion flag taped up to the wall in one spot. There was still a good turnout at the Game 4 with Battalion fans there, but I don't think they took a bus down, so there wasn't quite the same strong numbers, but there was a lot of North Bay fans there. There's a bunch of Go Troops chants they broke out in the audience, and yeah, it wasn't nearly a packed house, though, I tell you that much. They didn't have the same pull as we're getting here.
We'll have to wait and see what Monday night brings. I'm hoping to make that trip down with you guys on Monday for Game 6 of this series. Did you expect coming into this to be as tight as it is? 3 games out of the 4 already in overtime, and that last one needing double overtime.
I really did not expect it. I mean, I expected the series to go 5 or 6 games, which it's bound to go at least 6 at this point. I did not expect so much overtime. I mean, we've hit 4 overtime periods now. With the set, each goal has been 2 or 3 minutes into an overtime period, but we had a full overtime period before we got to that on Thursday night.
We haven't seen a rivalry quite like we always talk about North Bay Sudbury, how those rivalries seem to be heated up. But to me, this rivalry between North Bay and Barrie, this is the 4th time they've played in the playoffs, but the first since 2016. To me, this seems to be the most heated rivalry between a North Bay Battalion and any other team in the OHL.
Yeah, I think that's sort of one of the big things is that even when North Bay moved up here from Brampton, there was a Brampton-Barrie rivalry. So when they moved up here, I think that rivalry stayed a little bit because, you know, there's the Highway 11 connection. There's a whole bunch of things that really put this as 2 competitive teams in the same division. I think we're in for a good rivalry, and there's lots of talk about Sudbury because it's, you know, just a little bit down the Highway 17 there. They're the 2 northern teams, not counting the Sioux, but the 2 northern teams in this conference. Yeah, I think Barrie's a better rivalry. I like the energy that we see out of these games.
Definitely energy-wise, talent-wise. Both teams have really top-end quality, And we take a look at two of those best defenders in our players to watch tonight that were brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
And tonight, our players to watch, two defenders, both looking at top-end responsibilities defensively in Brendan Hache of the Barrie Colts and Tanias Mathern, playing in only his second game back with the North Bay Battalion. Missed all but one game this year back in October after suffering an injury after being taken by the Detroit Red Wings. Neither of them do have any points on the game. Both of them have ended up in the penalty box for 2 minutes or less, and Brendan Hache a -1 on the night. So kind of living up to what we expected, as those are two of probably the best defenders in the OHL defensively, putting aside offensive roles, as we know what Ty Nelson and Brant Clark can do offensively from that point. I really like the game Tanias Mathern has shown. He hasn't really stood out much, hasn't been getting the ice time that we thought he should be getting, but he is just coming back from injury.
Listen, just coming back, I've seen him make a few really nice defensive plays where I've thought, oh, thank God that Mathern's back, because I don't know if any of the guys on the team are making those defensive plays. For having missed such an extensive long period of time, to come back and jump into playoff hockey on these type of high-pressure games, that to me is really impressive out of him. For Hache, on his part, if you're being played with Brant Clark as your partner, you're going to have a lot of expectations that you're going to play up to that role as well.
Yeah, definitely. Defensive roles kind of get overlooked, especially when you look at players. You have a Brant Clark or a Ty Nelson on your team. You still need those players like Tanias Mathern and Brendan Hache that eat up minutes and play against the top guys of the other lines and are out there at the end of a period if they're looking to come away with a victory. I'm not sure. Hopefully we get to see a lot of Tanias Mathern in the third period, but one guy we will see lots of is Paul Christopoulos, leader this year of the plus-minus category, just over a plus 51 on the season.
Yeah, he's had an incredible year so far. Well, I guess the season's over, but he's had an incredible season. He's had a great postseason so far. What's there to say about him that we don't already know, right? Like, he's been here for a few years now, and he shows up and plays. He's a workhorse, and seems whatever the team needs him. He can take the puck and rush it, but he's getting a lot of notice, especially in the last couple of years, about his defensive play. With Ty Nelson coming in, sort of taking over that role as top offensive defenseman, Christopoulos has found another role for himself, and really cemented himself respectfully around the league.
And having another strong game today, a +3 in tonight's contest. Coming out in the third, Barrie trailing by 2 goals. Marty Williamson at that timeout said that there's still lots of time on the clock. We've seen another 10 minutes come out without getting them back into the game. How do they come out in the third period trying to get that one quick goal and making this a 1-goal game where anything could happen?
It's that same type of thing that they did in the first game and the third game. They have to come out hard. They have to be pushing North Bay and take advantage of every chance they get. They have to be pushing North Bay to make little errors here and there, and they have to take advantage of them. We saw earlier today in the Peterborough-Ottawa game that, a 3-goal lead in that case wasn't enough to keep Peterborough ahead. So North Bay can't be sitting here and leaning back, pulling the old trap and trying to stave off Barrie here. They're too powerful a team to just sit back and let them fly.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know what? We've seen the North Bay Battalion come back from hold on to a couple of quick leads. They were able to do that in game 2 of the series here on home ice, as they were able to hold on to their lead in the third period and come away with a victory, a 5-2 victory that night. Things are a little bit differently. We know that the winner of this game is going to be 1 game away from that Eastern Conference final. This is a very important game because you don't want to be facing elimination Monday night.
No, exactly, and I think that's going to be the the message coming out of the North Bay room is we have to keep pushing. We have to keep going. We can't sit back and rest. Because if we go down and have to win 2 in a row, that's a hard spot to be put against a team as talented as Barrie. But I'm sure Barrie's saying the exact same thing about North Bay. They have to come out and push. They don't want to lose this game, go home and have to win at home and then on the road.
Wow, we're going to have to wait and see because there's still 20 minutes left in this game. When we come back, Courtney Kenny and Matt Sucrum will rejoin us for the call of the third period as you are watching Colts Battalion here on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Back for the third period here between the North Bay Battalion and the Barrie Colts in what is Game 5 of this best-of-7 series, all knotted up at 2, but this game 4-2 for the Battalion after a string of 3 straight goals in a few moments. I'm Courtney, Matt Sucrum.
You son of a...
As we get set here for the final period, Matt, should be an exciting one here from the Gardens with a sellout crowd on hand. I think it's been since the first 2 seasons that we've seen a sellout crowd here at the Gardens.
Yeah, it's certainly nice to see. I mean, this is where you want to be on a Saturday in April in North Bay, isn't it? The weather hasn't turned yet, so it's not like you can really be out enjoying the nice weather, right? So this is the spot. That's right.
In Barrie they are, apparently. Might have to leave early on Monday to take part in that.
Well, there you go.
Get
and
angry
maybe
before the game.
That's it. Puck is dropped. Period number 3 underway. And right off the draw, they send it in towards DiVincentis, and he holds on to it for the stoppage in play.
Battalion again up 4-2. They also lead shots on goal 23-19 in this game. Post-game, we will have some comments from Ryan Houlihan up on our social media at some point this evening. Also, check out the write-up on Bay Today afterwards as well, as the Battalion are set for a defensive zone draw to the far side of the broadcast.
And it's won by Tarasevic. He comes out of the zone, down the right side, dumps it in over the blue line, but is quickly picked up by Clark. Clark now can't control it. He was skating backwards, trying to get the puck out of the zone, but Van Steensel stole it from him, and then Van Steensel played it to the line, shot back in down low. Tarasevic plays it back up high to Christopoulos, who fires it in, and it just goes high. Now it's back on the near side boards, and it's Cardwell in control for the Colts, and he will skate it out of the zone, down the ice, gets it up ahead. Now it's back to Cardwell coming in on the right side towards the net, and he gets a shot save made by DiVincentis. behind the net now. Zito drops it there for Winslow. Winslow skates it over to Zito, and he'll get out of the zone down the left wing. Puts it through the legs of Cholach, and then he recovers it behind the net. Zito being pressured on the boards. Cholach takes the puck away from him, but now it's McDonald who finds it behind the net for North Bay. McDonald skates to the near side, takes a shot, and that's off a skate, back out to line, kept in the zone by Nelson. Nelson fires it wide of the net. It's picked up by Jelsma, and he will clear it. 18:35 to go in the third period. North Bay ahead 4-2. And again, if they can close this one out, it will be the first time they have a series lead. They trailed 1-0. They trailed 2-1. Would be a great time to get the series lead. And then the thing is, as this is icing called, North Bay at this point only have to win home games now to get to the next series.
Yeah, we talked about that post-game, Ryan Houlihan. It's once again a best 2 out of 3 here, and they have home ice advantage through these 2 out of 3 games as they play Game 5 here and Game 7 if necessary Tuesday. We will have Game 6 for you Monday from Barrie at the Sadlin Arena as well.
Hislop fires it just wide of the net. Picked up by the Colts, and it's out to the neutral zone with McDonald going one-on-one with Hislop. Hislop doing a good job keeping him to the outside. That allows Bristowski to come in late into play, but he can't clear it. Now McDonald went back in front of the net. He can't get a shot off as Bristowski gets it away from him. Now it's behind the net, and McDonald once again recovers the puck, sending it to the point, across to the near side, Akey. He sends it down low towards the goal line. It's picked up off the boards by Hislop, but he can't clear. Back into the corner with the Colts in control. They send it up high to Akey. Across to the left side, Hache sends it down low, back up to Hache. Sent around behind the net, now to the near side. Picked up off the boards. It is Bloom who intercepts the pass from Savard, and it's sent down the ice. Out to the neutral zone, Bristowski gets hit on the boards right in front of the Barrie bench. Bristowski's being held behind the play, no call coming. Now Hache with a shot towards DiVincentis, and it goes wide on the blocker side, or check that, the stick side. Yeah, that's the blocker side. It comes up to the near side as Petrov has it over the blue line, skating towards the far side circle. Steps on the brakes, and then he sends it towards the net from a sharp angle. It's a save made by Thornton. Now it's behind the net. Wakely and Punnett collide. Puck goes into the near side corner. Now it's shoveled down the point. Lukin fires it in behind the net. Chased to the far side boards by Wakely. Knocked away from his stick, but Romani keeps it in. He sends it to the corner. It's knocked away by the stick of Petrov and sent to the near side boards where Lukin finds it for the Battalion. Lukin driving in behind the net. Now he brings it back up high to Nelson. Across to Petrov. One-timer comes in, and Thornton makes a kick save. That was an accurate shot from the very end of the zone from Petrov, and Thornton had to make a really good save on it. North Bay bringing the puck back into the zone as Lukin dumps it in, and they'll get some fresh legs out there. 16 minutes remaining in the third period. 4-2 the score for North Bay. Here comes Cardwell into the North Bay zone. Cardwell driving to the net, tries to play it in front. Couple players knocked down. In the corner of the puck, Clark has it, and Clark gets hammered on the end boards. I'm not sure if it was Winslow or if it was Arnsby that threw that hit, but Clark got rocked. But now it's Cardwell behind the net. He tries to feed it in front. That play gets blocked, and now it is Arnsby skating that puck through the neutral zone and dumping it down the ice. 15.5 to play in the third period. 4-2 North Bay lead. Clark bringing it forward again for the Colts. Shovels it down the right side boards. Cardwell tries to center it. That gets blocked by North Bay. And skating out of the zone with it is Christopoulos. He tries to get it past Clark. That's blocked, and Cardwell going back the other way, still on the right side. He gets kept to the outside by Winslow. They collide on the end boards. Cardwell centers it to Clark. He lifts it up and over DiVincentis, and he scores. It's a one-goal game. 4:55 into the third period as Brant Clark comes through for the Colts.
Brant Clark has scored his 2 goals here in North Bay this series, as he seems to love the attention he gets from North Bay fans here, making it a little bit tighter here in this third period than I'm sure Battalion fans would wish with just under 5 minutes gone. And I believe that was also Arnsby that leveled him behind the board, so it was a little bit of captain-on-captain violence.
Yeah, Clark's only other goal in this playoffs was that goal, 2:55 into the third period of Game 1, and that one tied the game 2-2 before the Colts went on to win it in overtime. And of course, 3 of the 4 games in this series have gone to overtime. Only the second time that the Battalion franchise has had 3 games in a single playoff series go to overtime. Here comes Erdl taking a shot, and that's a blocker save made by Thornton. It comes out to the neutral zone. The only other time was when Brampton played Belleville back in, I believe it was 2006 in the conference quarterfinals, and 3 of those games went to overtime. The Battalion have had several series where they've had at least 2 overtimes, including against these Barrie Colts.
And the Ottawa 67s last year in the first round.
That one gets cleared out to the neutral zone. Akey sending it across to the far side. 6 minutes gone in this third period, which is now a 1-goal game. Nelson from the neutral zone, up forward to Tarasevich. Drops it back to Van Cecil, coming in on the left side. Van Cecil tried to play to the slot. That one got blocked, and skating away with it is Lowe. He dumps it in off the boards. Nelson there to break it up, and Nelson gets it up ahead to Tarasevich. Tarasevich coming in on the right side, puts on the brakes in the circle. Tarasevich now turning towards the boards. Now he goes to the corner, still being pressured. Tarasevich bounces off a hit, but then physically lost his stick at the end of that play as it got knocked out of his hands, and that allows the Barrie Colts to send it down the ice. Jodin sends it in. Now behind the net, Lowe and Luke in battle, and Nelson gets the puck out of that area, and he gets it up to Jackson in the neutral zone. He feeds it forward for Wakely. Wakely splits the D almost, and then at the end of the play, Haché just lifted his stick to get the puck away from him as Wakely was traveling through the slot area. Into the neutral zone with 13 minutes to play. It's Lucan again in control of the puck. He brings it over the line, drops it to Jackson, who takes a shot, and that goes wide. Off the glass and out to the neutral zone. Hislop sends it to Jackson on a late change coming in the zone, and they call offside against the Battalion. The Barrie Colts had sent about 3 guys out of the zone to get the change. Jackson was coming in on an open lane, but Romani never cleared the zone, unfortunately.
It was a very, very close call, of course, although Battalion fans here thinking that Jackson was onside, and you know what, the linesman had the best view on that one. Very close call as the Battalion are looking to pressure the Colts a little bit here after the Colts got the 3rd goal of the game.
12:40 to play. The Battalion fans trying to cheer on their team with time winding down. It is a factor against the Colts more than anything, but still a lot of time left, as really the Battalion haven't shown a whole lot since scoring those 3 goals in that second period. They've got 25 shots on net compared to the Colts 21. The Colts have won 25 of the 48 face-offs in this game, so they are starting with the puck slightly more than the Battalion are. But really, it has been a pretty even game outside of that 2-minute stretch in that second period. Puck poked off the stick of Clark in the neutral zone. Christopoulos and Clark battling for it. Clark finds it, dumps it in. Delayed offside against the Colts as the Battalion just hold it behind their own net. Now they will bring it forward. Zito dishing it off to Petrov. Tries to flip it into the slot. It's past everybody, so McDonald will have to play it off the boards. He sends it to the corner for Zito. Zito tried to skate to the middle of it. Got knocked off his stick. And coming out of the zone with the puck is Kavanaugh for the Colts. He gets up to the blue line and dumps it down. Ertel on the far side for North Bay trying to shovel that puck back over the blue line. That gets blocked. The Colts complete a pass to the near side boards. Now Jackson gets the puck away from Kavanaugh, and he plays it to the far side behind the net. Now the Battalion get it out of the zone off that pass. In the neutral zone, it's the Colts who find the loose puck. Jodwin coming back in the zone. He gets knocked off the puck on the near side boards by Bloom, and Bloom is able to dump it out. 11:15 to play as the Colts come right back in. Mathurin gets it away from Jodwen, and he will clear it off the glass. Akey in the neutral zone, shoots it right back in. Nelson has it on the far side. Nelson goes to the middle of his own zone, looking up ice with speed, coming down the left wing, gets around a defender, going to the net. He goes in behind the net. Nelson still in control, plays it back behind the net. It's past the stick of Jackson, and the Battalion see the puck get cleared out of the zone. So that rush from Nelson goes for naught on that play, with the Colts able to break it up. Ertel at the end of a shift was telling Jackson just to dump the puck down. Jackson passed it across the neutral zone, so then Ertel had to chase the puck, and then he dumped it down. 10:20 to play in the third period. 1-goal game, 4-3 North Bay, as the puck is flipped up off the glass and sent down the ice into the Barrie zone. Hache with it, sends it down the right side for McDonald. McDonald tries to dump it in past Arnsby. The first attempt didn't work. Second attempt goes in, but now Arnsby finds the loose puck. And now it is Hislop with it in the corner for North Bay. He tries to play it out. Savard blocks it. Now Savard sends it to the middle for Clark. Clark sends it on net. Save made. Loose puck is covered up by DiVincentis after it got really rough there in front of the net. We've reached the halfway point of the third period. It's 4-3. We'll be right back.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
And we welcome you back to North Bay Memorial Gardens. There's 4,203 people taking this game, including one of those people is Mr. Derek Lindemann between the benches. Derek, how's the temperature down there now since Brant Clark brought the Colts to within 1?
It's really still heated up down here. Brant Clark, just with the way he poses himself, with his celebrations, just really ignites his crowd. And even just before this timeout, he was standing at the North Bay Battalion bench, just having words with them. He's the guy that just wants to be in the heat of the moment and consistently brings it upon both himself and his teammates. That was a very important goal for the Barrie Colts. You're now down 1 with 9:40 to go. It's a tight game, and everyone's going to be on the edge of their seats, including me, Courtney.
All right, Derek, we appreciate everything you're doing down there between the benches for us here. And we'll get back to the action here momentarily on the Frontline Game Day broadcast, as the puck is going to be dropped far side from the broadcast booth here at Memorial Gardens in the Battalion zone.
The Battalion cannot win the draw. Hache on the far side, across to the near side, Clark. Tries to feed it down low into the corner. It's Frasca. Behind the net, Cardwell. Tries to play it up to the point. It's out of the reach of Hache, and he has to chase it down in the neutral zone. He gets there, and he sends it across to Clark, who dumps it in. Picked up by Winslow behind the net. Winslow for the Battalion, skating down the right side, unchecked. Skating through the blue line, up to the red line, and dumping it down into the Barrie zone. That's where Thornton plays it behind his own net, and he gets it up ahead to the stick of Bodwin. Bodwin coming down into the corner. He takes a hard hit from Christopoulos. Lost the puck in the process there, and the puck is cleared by the Battalion. 9 minutes to play in the third. 4-3 lead for the North Bay Battalion. Want to say hi to Jason, listening in Timmins, as well as Blake McChristy, listening in New Liskeard. Pleasure to have you guys watching and listening in on the broadcast. In the neutral zone, it's Zito, who finds the puck coming in on the left wing side. Stops at the circle, takes a shot, scores! Zito sends it under the glove side arm, and the Battalion regain the 2-goal lead. It's 5-3 on the second goal of the night from Pasquale Zito.
Well, you knew that Pasquale Zito, coming into this game, had been a good playoff performer here for the Battalion. He's likely going to be one of the 3 stars of the game after that goal there, as he just stuck it in under the arm of Anson Thornton, who's looked very solid all playoff series long, and that was his glove hand as well, which usually if you're a goaltender, you're really strong on your glove hand. For Pasquale Zito, what a goal, and then Kyle McDonald kind of gives him a, oh, what do you know, when he scored that goal, as the Battalion will take it now. You got the sense that the Colts were kind of coming. They were starting to build some steam here after getting that Brant Clark goal here, but the Battalion trying to take them out of it with some momentum of their own.
Second time this series, the Battalion have put 5 past Thornton. They did so in Game 2 in a 5-2 win.
Mathurin with an assist on that as well. Welcome back to Nias Mathurin.
Yeah, he's been a piece of the puzzle that has been missing for some time. Played in 13 postseason games last year with the Battalion, but just 1 regular season game this year for Mathurin. North Bay bringing the puck down the ice. Romani up ahead to Nelson. Into the slot, the shot, scores! For Wake's sakes, it's Dahlin with the goal, and it's 6-3.
The Battalion scoring in bunches here in this game, Matt, as they've been making the Colts, once they figure out what's going on, they're able to put goals up here quickly, as this is the second time this game that they've scored within minutes of each other. And that one, too, just thrown in by Romani. A nice pass out front by Nelson. His hits a Colts defender who tried to clear it, but the puck came right to Dallin Wakely. And as you said it, couldn't say it any better, Wake's sakes puts the puck in the net and gives the Battalion a 3-goal lead.
Second time this game that the Battalion have scored goals less than 30 seconds apart.
Wow. And if this lead holds true, it'll go back to being the second team who scored the goal. Or second team to score will win the game.
Well, they're listing this one at 12-11, so that's almost 50 seconds gone there.
They're just saying that just to make you look silly.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, they scored 2 goals in a span of a minute and 30 seconds. In the second period, they've scored 2 goals in the span of about 30. No, that's about 45 seconds here in the third period.
Colts are going to the box too, as Tyler Savard is in the box, so the Battalion will have a chance to score again here on the power play, as Savard will sit for 2 minutes or less. And again, I don't think Battalion fans will be too upset if Savard sat for less than 2 minutes. But again, you don't want to see Savard out on the ice, so tomato, score a goal.
And here's the thing, the Battalion are 1 for 5 on their power plays. This is going to be the 6th time they have a power play advantage. I highly doubt in Game 6 down in Barrie they're going to get 6 power play advantages.
I highly doubt it as well. It didn't. The refereeing or the calls didn't seem to go the Battalion way in Barrie. They were still able to capitalize on their chances, as mentioned. Kyle McDonald scored the second goal for the Battalion on the power play in Game 5 to bring the troops to within 1 in the third period.
And the Battalion with a really good chance to put this one away right here. 7:20 to play. Nelson from the point sends it to the right side to Jackson. Jackson in the circle, skates back up high, sends it to Nelson, who flips it back to Jackson on the boards. He feeds it down low to Petrov. Or check that, Zito. Zito back to Jackson. Shot from the circle is into the glove of Thornton.
And
that is, so the save is made, and then the slashing call came right after, and Punnett is going to be punished. You like that?
I got nothing to say.
Was it the enunciation or was it the alliteration?
It was the fact that you got a pun on Punnett.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, this is terrible. Harrison from the Garrison, our wonderful producer of this game, has just completely collapsed on the floor. He's like, I'm done with these guys. I can't believe I have their background in my videos.
Yeah. Go ahead and follow Harrison, by the way.
Yeah.
Harrison from the Garrison.
We'll try and make it better.
Yeah.
Great video today.
He's the only one bringing any professionalism to this one. So the Battalion with a 5-on-3 for 1:15 as Nelson has it. Sends it left side shot, scores! Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, loving it! Kyle McDonald with the power play goal. It's 7-3. And by all intents and purposes, this should be a Battalion victory in Game 5.
Well, after he scored in Game 4, Ben Long said, okay, I got to go to McDonald's and have a Big Mac. I can't confirm he did have a Big Mac after the game. We did stop at McDonald's because it's right there across the road from the arena. Although it took us about 20 minutes to get through the drive-thru, so that was fun. But that's besides the point. We usually hang out at Wacky Wings post-game. I think we're going to have to start going to McDonald's and eating our fair share of Big Macs.
McDonald's a proud sponsor of this broadcast, and we thank them for helping us out all season long. Too bad they didn't draft anybody named McDonald, did they?
No.
And Kyle will be moving on next year, so.
We'll always remember the Big Mac celebration.
That's right. So the Battalion still have 1:30 to play on the power play. They lead 7-3. Puck down to the point to Winslow. Across to the right side to Christopoulos. Sends it back up high to Winslow. Winslow sends it in, deflected. It's on the doorstep, but they cannot bury it.
Battalion looking to get some different players out there on the power play now that they have the goal lead here, 7-3.
Driving in towards DiVincentis. Net is knocked off. DiVincentis is knocked off balance as Declan McDonald came flying in towards him. But it looks like everybody is going to be okay, and looks like cooler heads will prevail there. The Battalion still with 1:04 on the power play.
Well, the Battalion, one of the biggest thorns in their side in the first round series against the Mississauga Steelheads was Angus McDonnell. And in this series, Declan McDonald doing his part to be a thorn in the Battalion side as well, as the fans breathe a collective sigh here to see that Dom DiVincentis is okay and good to go for the rest of this game.
The Battalion have never led by 4 goals and lost a postseason game. And with 6 minutes left on the clock here in this one, they're not looking to rewrite history in that category tonight. Christopoulos from the neutral zone sends it down. 45 seconds remaining in the period. Out to the neutral zone. Dump back down the ice. Hislop will chase it. I want to say hi to Doreen Casey watching all the way from Pittsburgh. Go Pirates. Go Troops, go.
Hey, the Pirates have had a great start to their season.
Jay London, thank you for the kind wishes. All the way from Jay from London. And I don't know if that's London, Ontario, or if that's London in the UK, but either way, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. 5:15 to go. There's a shot. That gets blocked. Hislop doing the dirty work there as he went down and took that one off the knee, it looked like. Looks to be okay, but now he's going to have to really test that one out as they're coming in. Hislop on the back check, gets the puck away off Cardwell behind the net. Then the Cardwell recovers the puck, sends it to the point. Holding it there is Frasca, sending it down below the goal line. Cardwell sends it back up high. It is picked off by Romani, is sent up ahead to Ertel. We're back to 5-on-5 play as Ertel sends it down wide of the net. 7-3 the score, North Bay, and they've scored 7 goals on less than 30 shots in this game. They're just at 29 right now, so really it's been quality over quantity in this one. Huge drop-off from, 56 shots in Game 4.
In which Thornton was putting up a brick wall behind him.
Pasquale Zito finds the puck in the neutral zone, sends it up to the right side blue line, and it's dumped into the zone by the Battalion. The Colts pick it up. It's Kavanaugh moving it up to line, plays it back to the near side to Hache. Hache holding on to it, and he'll drop back. Picked up on the far side again by Hache as he left it behind the net. Sent across to the far side and dumped down the ice. Being chased into the zone, Mathurin and York collide on the end boards. York picks up the puck, sends it to the point, punted firing it in, and it's deflected and goes wide of the net. 3.5 to play now. Lukin with the puck. He'll dump it out down the ice. Zito racing towards it. Zito just gets it pushed away from his stick at the end of that play. Zito working with 2 goals tonight. And he's already had a very productive series. Back into the zone. Into the Battalion zone. It is picked up by Jelsma. He brings it around to the near side, to the middle. Jelsma with a shot that goes wide of the net. Picked up there by Hislop. Hislop tries to feed it down the right side boards. He gets it to McDonald, and McDonald will send it out to Bloom. Bloom will dump it down the ice. Hello to the Maritime Maniacs. Listening in from Prince Edward Island, the cousins of Ty Nelson. Thanks so much for tuning in all the way out in PEI. Into the neutral zone. Brostowski flips it forward. Erdl has it. Tries to play it over to Bloom. Big collision in the middle, but it's Jelsma who ends up with a puck for the Colts. Tries to feed it forward. That one's behind the player Savard, and that allows Jackson to end up with the puck. They send it back down the ice. It's deflected from the neutral zone and dumped into the Barrie end. Akey will bring it forward with 2 minutes to go. They dump it down behind the net. Jodwin to McDonald. Back around to the far side boards. Check that, that's Bowden. And he battles with Winslow, who flips it up. And somehow that stayed in play when it rode the glass up high, came down in front of the bench. No one touched it. And it keeps the clock moving. 1:38 to go now. Cardwell chasing it into the corner. Plays it to the point. Kavanaugh turns it over. Gave it right to Tarasevich, but then Tarasevich fanned on a dump out pass towards Van Steensel, but then they play it off the boards, and they do get it dumped out. Frasca brings it back in with 1:15 to play. That's knocked off the stick of Cholach, and it's sent down the ice. Romani sends it in front to Jackson. Jackson puts it on net, but Thornton makes the save. Maybe. They haven't put it on the board yet. 1 minute to play now in the period. The Battalion are moments away from taking a 3-2 series lead with them back down the highway towards Barrie and hoping that they can finish this one in 6 games. There will be a lot of work to do, but if they come out with the kind of firepower they've had in this one, the Battalion should be looking at getting back to the conference finals. 15 seconds of play. Zito has the puck behind the net, holding it back there. The Colts are retreating. Hey, if they're going to do that, you might as well start the bus. 5 seconds to go. The Battalion beat the Colts 7-3 in Game 5 at Memorial Gardens and are a win away from heading back to the conference finals.
Wow, what a game by the North Bay Battalion. Barrie tried to make it close a couple of times, but the Battalion, I think the best way we can describe it is surgical. The Battalion came in here with precision, and they completely dominated the Colts when they had to. Brant Clark bringing it to within a goal here in this third period as the Battalion salute the crowd after that big victory. But the Battalion poured it on right after that. It's going to make for a fun post-game interview with head coach Ryan Houlihan, which you'll be able to find on our social media after the game. And just to sell this little plug, Maritime Maniacs, we talk about the East Coast quite a bit with Ty Nelson on his most recent episode on the podcast. Of course, he talks about Newfoundland, though I do have to give you that little caveat on that one. So Big game for the Battalion, and you felt it kind of with that overtime win that there might be some momentum coming into this one. At the start, it didn't feel like it, but now you have to think that the momentum is squarely on North Bay's side going into Game 6.
Well, both of these teams are basically a couple of goals away from either being swept or having been swept, right? So the fact that the Battalion have lost twice in overtime and now have a 3-2 series lead, they've got all the momentum with them. They've got to come out and have the same kind of pressure that they put on the Barrie Colts in this game in Game 6.
Which we will have on the road for you. I'll be calling that one. Maybe Ben Long's with me, maybe Derek Lindeman's with me. Haven't decided yet. It's kind of like pick and choose. Who do you want to sit in a car with for 2.5 hours, right? I don't know if either option's really good at this point. No, I'm just kidding. They're both great. As Derek Lindeman's getting ready to come on the post-game show here. But we will have that game for you from Barrie. Hey, Derek. Hey, how's it going? We'll throw it to a quick break here on the front line, and we'll see you on the other side.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindeman, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And make the final from Memorial Gardens. It's the North Bay Battalion 7 and the Barrie Colts 3. And with the victory tonight, the North Bay Battalion take a 3-2 lead in the best of 7 series with Game 6 Monday night in Barrie, and you can watch that here on the front line with the pregame show starting at 7:20. Well, the Battalion entered with a 2-goal lead. They start the third period of play, and Brant Clark got it to within 1 when he scored a beautiful backhand goal, his 7th of the postseason from Ethan Cardwell at 4:55. And just when you thought the Barrie Colts were going to clip back into it, the Battalion scored 3 more to finish them off and send them packing, and hopefully, like the song said, hit the road, Jack. As Pasquale Zito is 2nd of the game, his 4th of the postseason at 11:24, restored that 2-goal lead. Tanias Mathurin with the lone assist on that goal, and then Dallin Wakely is 4th of the season at 12:11 from Ty Nelson and Anthony Romani. And the 7th goal, Kyle McDonald, his 11th of this postseason at 13:12 from Ty Nelson and Matt Bay Petrov. And that leads us to the Dave's Automotive 3 stars of service.
Tonight's 3 stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
And our 3 stars tonight, all from the North Bay Battalion. 3rd star honors goes to defenseman Ty Nelson, 3 assists on the night, a +3. 2nd star from the North Bay Battalion, Matvey Petrov, a goal, 2 assists in tonight's victory. And the 1st star with 2 goals, Pasquale Zito. So a great night here, and the battalion take their first lead of this series as they win back-to-back games, winning games 4 and 5, and will have a chance to close out this series Monday night from the Saddle-On Arena in Barrie. What an exciting night. Just over 4,200 people packed this building, and it was a great atmosphere right from the start to the finish. A couple bounces going the way of the Colts allowed them to get a quick 1-0 lead, but the battalion erased that and will take a 4-2 lead after 2, and then erase a quick goal by Brant Clark to finish off with a 7-3 victory, as this was the first really lopsided game in this series, as the 2 Eastern Conference semifinals will go to a Game 6. Ottawa 67s winning earlier tonight by a score of 5-4, needing 4 goals in that 3rd period alone to force a Game 6. That will be also Monday night in Peterborough. And like I said, Game 6 in this series will be Monday night from Barrie, and you can catch that right here live on the front line, beginning with the pregame show at 7:20. So one more time here from Memorial Gardens, make the final the North Bay Battalion 7, the Barrie Colts 3, as the series now switches to Barrie for Game 6. For Matt Sukram, Courtney Kenny, Ben Long, Harrison the Garrison, and I'm Derek Lindeman. Thanks for watching, and have yourself a good Saturday evening.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike.